perennial powerhouses Darien and Greenwich go to battle on this Saturday afternoon from Darien High School. And today, the Blue Wave and the Cardinals. Darien 4-2, Greenwich 5-1. We are live on the DAF Media Network here inside the DHS Stadium Field. Hi, everybody. Joined alongside Michael Mercine. I'm Braden Shank, and this should be a premier Week 8 game here. Michael, what do you think we're going to see this afternoon?
I think we're going to see a lot of big, fast, and heavy football. We've got a Darien team who's typically very big, actually outmatched by an even larger and even more aggressive Greenwich team today. That means Darien, we're going to see a lot of fast play from Darien, as they may have a little bit of issues on the line. We're going to see Greenwich try to use their strength to overpower Darien, and so we'll see who can be better. Whether or not they can be, agile or strong.
For Greenwich, they were victors against Trumbull in their last game. Darien, they've went winners their last 3 on the road. The last time they were here at Darien High School, they fell to Maloney. This will be the first time since 2007 that Darien would lose back-to-back home games, so a lot at stake here today. What do you think a key to the game for Darien is going to be today?
As I said, one big key for the game for Darien is going to be to play fast. And what I mean by that is Darien is going up against a Greenwich team that plays both ways and plays very aggressively. This means that they can tire out, and so if Darien plays fast, they should be able to time out. They should be able to tire Greenwich out.
And you see here the opening coin toss in this one. It appears that Darien will receive the opening kick. So the teams will do their final handshakes and prepare for battle. Darien and Greenwich, the last time they met, 2019 in the state quarterfinals. The Wave won that one, but they met in the regular season. And what some Blue Wave fans remember, a spike on 4th down. And that is what happened there. So the teams will huddle up here. Darien in their blue jerseys, Greenwich in their whites. So it should be an interesting one. Again, a lot at stake for Darien. They're looking to pick up 150 points in the Class L playoffs, where they currently sit in 7th place. And as for Greenwich, they're in 1st place of Class AA, looking to retain their ground and picking up some points on Darien. Beautiful day for some football on this Saturday afternoon, Week 8 of the season. Both of these teams flawless in FCAC play. And now we're going to send you to the Darien High School Band with the national anthem.
As the Darien High School Band, under the tutelage of Jonathan Grauer, plays our national anthem. I remind you, please remove your hats.
Flower flying at Darien High School. A blur here as we're reading some football. I'm already covered in the white. I'm not sure if you got that, Michael Mercine. And we're now going to send you down to the 3rd member of our crew, Cam McGraw, with more on this one on the sideline.
Hey guys, the Greenwich Cardinals through the first 4 league games this year scored 184 total points with an average points per game of 46. A lot of that has led to quarterback Jack Wilson and wide receiver James Whalegum. As for the Darien Blue Wave, they have scored 155 total points through 4 league games with an average of 39 points per game. Quarterbacks Simeon Dahl and Jake Wilson helping them out today. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Cam. And the teams will take the field. They are ready for battle in this one. Darien, Wilson, and Picorni back to take the opening kick.
It's getting loud as we get ready for a big homecoming game.
And as you mentioned, Michael Mercine, homecoming for Darien today. They're looking to pick up a big win on homecoming. The packed house at Darien High School. And it will be Sergat Boone to kick off for the Cardinals.
Got some Saturday football going, huh?
It is indeed. Boone, he checks his lines.
Good luck, gentlemen.
And we are underway from Darien High School. Wilson will watch this one back for the touchback, and that's how we are started on this Saturday afternoon. And we're going to get our first glimpse in this one of Simeon Dahl, Darien's quarterback, wearing number 4. And Dahl, a big player. You see the stats on your screen, 12 touchdowns on the season. A lot more to go along with that. He's just a great quarterback for Darien.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And there's a story that you don't see. I mean, you saw there 130 rushing yards for Dahl. That's actually not really indicative of his skills as a quarterback because he may not have that many rushing yards, but he's actually mobile enough to keep defenses guessing, and he's a very much two-skilled player.
Dahl completes this one, and it's caught by Herget. Darien picks up a couple on it.
That's the first Dahl to Herget, and I definitely think it's going to be nowhere near the last.
Definitely not the last. Herget, a big-time receiver for Darien. It's going to be interesting how they do it.
Should we give him first down?
Yes, indeed. First play works out for Darien. We're working through some issues with our score bug. Of course, the scoreboard here getting updated. Darien will now get the 1st and 10 again on the 31-yard line. Wilson and Dahl in the backfields. Twin receivers on the play. Dahl, he'll take it himself, the QB keeper, onto the far side. And he will be taken out of bounds for a gain of a couple.
See, that's what I was saying. Dahl is a quarterback that keeps defenses guessing.
And we're now going to take a look at the Greenwich starting defense in this one. DeLuca, Kiernan, Castellanos, Galetta, the D-line. The linebackers, Matthew Trimmer, the captain. Look out for him in the middle. And finally, the defensive backs, you can't look out for him. George Von Balakis, just a sophomore, but a great player for this Greenwich Cardinals team.
Yeah, this Greenwich Cardinals defense is big, and they are scary. I mean, you can just see the size difference, actually, down on the field. This defensive line, we've got players that are, 6'5", 260 down there, and we'll see how they do.
Trips on the near side. Dahl over the middle, caught by Picorni, and Darien will keep the chains moving yet again.
Darien first down.
I really like what Darien's doing with their play calling here. We've got some quick passes that are going out. That's the one weakness to having a giant defensive line, right, is generally they're going to be a little slow. And so Darien has very fast receivers, and Dahl can get the ball out quickly, and we're going to see a lot of that today.
So just like that, Darien keeping the chains moving. 1st and 10 yet again. It will go trips on the far side. Dahl and Wilson in the backfield. Handoff to Jake Wilson, and he will be stopped immediately, taken down by number 48, Galetta. And now let's meet the Darien starting offense after the rush from Wilson. The starting O-line, Davenport returning from injury. So is Duncan Easterbrook. They do have to deal with the injury of Austin Etter, but a new offensive line. And then, of course, the stellar wide receiver core for Darien, Herget, McGuckin, Wilson, Picorni, and McMullen.
One notable absence from that is Liam McBride. He is back today, but I'm told that he's actually going to be limited today, but he should hopefully see snaps for his first game of the season.
The Dennystown football commit, he caught 2 catches for 23 yards a season ago, including a touchdown against the Newtown Nighthawks. So it's going to be interesting if Darien goes back to him and looks to pick up the yards. It appears we have a Greenwich player down. That's number 3, Wyatt Gibson, the senior cornerback. Gibson, a talented player for Greenwich, and he will be helped up by the athletic trainer. And I don't think there's an empty seat in sight here at Darien High School.
I mean, it is absolutely packed. I mean, it's homecoming. And it's also Halloween weekend. We've got costumes out there down in the student section. And everybody seems ready to go to have fun and watch some football.
We do indeed. Darien will now run the twin receivers on the play. Dahl in shotgun. Wilson to his left. Dahl drops back. Throws us over the middle. Caught by Herget. Trevor Herget still up. He's past the 40. Herget takes it to the Darien 36. Or the Greenwich 36, rather. You take another look at it. Herget going right over the middle, move after move. Eventually before he's taken down by Para.
Yeah, really good play by Herget, making the defender miss. And, he really can shine in open space. And we're going to see that a lot of that today, hopefully. You can hear the "We Got Trevor" chants from the student section. They're very excited to see him out on the field.
Trevor Herget making the catch on that one. Darien keeps marching down the field. Dahl and Wilson. Dahl drops back. He'll take it himself, the QB keeper, and he will be taken down immediately. Galetta And Insignia taking him back quite a ways.
Galetta on the stop.
Galetta, 6'2", 235. The junior just outpowered Simeon Dahl on that.
Yeah, I mean, Simeon not necessarily 6'2", 235, so unfortunately I wasn't expecting him to get the truck going there.
Galetta, he is third on the team in tackles with 22, having a nice start in this one as Darien stays on the offense. 1st and 10 for the Wave. Or 2nd and 9, rather. Scoreboard slow to update. Trips on the far side. Dahl alone in the backfield. They're going with a 5-receiver formation. McGuckin, Picorni, Herget, Wilson, and the timeout taken by Darien, avoiding the delay of game.
Yeah, it looked like there was confusion in the play call there. And good call to get the timeout. There was only 2 seconds left on the play clock, and to get the play out and the snap is not realistic. And so, fortunately, you have to lose one of your timeouts for the half. But let's hope they can get communication sorted out.
The timeout taken by Darien. They're going to talk over some things.
Yep.
Getting ready for this one. They have the 2nd and 9 just outside the red zone. And what do you think they're saying in that huddle? Good start to this drive, and you think they're looking to continue it?
Oh, I mean, every team's looking to continue their drive, but yeah, I think what they're actually really liking is these short passes over the middle, as I mentioned, because Greenwich has a very high scoring offense, and so to come back and to come out and score and to be consistent is going to be very important. And so this is going to be a game of Darien's offense potentially catching up with Greenwich's offense if Darien's defense can't stop them.
5 receivers on the play. Dahl in the backfield. Dahl drops back. He's going downfield looking for Picorni, and Brady can't get there. Good defense being played by Para. And they were looking for it all, the Brady, Picorni, and the Wave.
Yeah, that's one of those passes that, you just wish that either Picorni was faster or Dahl was maybe a little less strong, and you never wish that, but, Picorni looked like he could have been wide open. He had his hands right out, and unfortunately there was just a foot between him and the ball, and he couldn't make the catch.
So Darien will now trot back over on this one, 3rd and 9. They tried the 5-receiver formation, couldn't find a receiver, and now just like that, Dahl will come back left of Wilson. And that's offsides on there. Number 76, Jake Kiernan, jumping a little too early. Offsides against the Cardinals will give Darien some yards. Pretty clear on Kiernan right there.
Yeah, that's definitely going to change the play call because, Darien loves these short passes, and so now that they only have 5 yards instead of 10, they can use a short pass, and we'll probably see them pull one out here.
Offsides on the Cardinals. And now Darien will get the 3rd and 4. Dahl drops back. He's going. This time looking for Herget. Trevor, he can't quite get there. Just past the reach of Trevor Herget. If he caught that, he would have been gone.
I mean, you can see right there in that replay, Herget has so much separation between him and the defender. And unfortunately, another few feet make the difference. But, you're going to have a little bit of disconnect on the first drive. And so if Darien decides to go for it, which they do, we'll see if Dahl's sighted in more this time.
Darien's had some questions about their special teams all season, so they're going to elect to keep the offense on the field with 4th and 5. Darien looking for their first fourth down conversion of the afternoon.
Show us a lot with Wilton, right? Darien has been very aggressive on 4th down, and sometimes it hasn't paid off.
Dahl over the middle, and that one will be incomplete. They're going to call it a turnover on downs. Nice effort diving.
Yeah.
From Greenwich's Charlie Dixon, but I guess that they say it bounced up, and just like that, Greenwich will now trot on the field with their quarterback, senior Jack Wilson. Because that's not going to be confusing. Jake Wilson and Jack Wilson.
Good thing they're both on offense and not on the field at the same time.
That is true, so we're going to take a look at Jack Wilson, number 14 for the Cardinals, as he's trotting out with this Greenwich offense, a potent Greenwich offense, averaging 41 points a game. And there, as you see the stats on Jack Wilson, 10 touchdowns on the season, 10 passing, 10 rushing, and it shows you how good this red zone offense is.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, to have 10 rushing touchdowns with 157 rushing yards shows that they've got something locked down on their red zone.
Wilson's going to take it himself. Flips it off, incomplete. Was looking for number 5, Konigsberg.
Good awareness by Wilson to get the ball out there as he was going down. Not that it would have really made a difference because he was back to line of scrimmage anyway, but still good to get the ball out of bounds.
Now here's the Darien starting defense. Jack Barber, Hagan, Dash Ross, only in his 3rd game he's played this year, and Walker Brown, and the linebackers, the Bucknell commit, Mac McGarren, J.D. Brennan, Leighton Reeser, rounding out the defensive backs, Garlamo, McElhouse on a 2-game interception streak, looking to continue that into today's game.
I mean, this Darien defense is, you never really see a Darien defense that maybe almost feels, I don't want to say outmatched, but definitely outsized, and we'll see how players like Dash Ross can come through and use their raw power to their advantage.
Completion to Whalegum, and he will be taken down at the 35-yard line. A good tackle from McElhouse right on cue. And Whalegum will take it for a short gain for the Cardinals. Greenwich staying on the offense here, 3rd and 5. This is setting up for Greenwich. They're looking to keep the chains moving on their first drive. Like I said, a team that averages 41 points a game. They have scored 84 in first quarters alone this season. And now it will be Konigsberg and Wilson in the backfields. Wilson hands it off to Konigsberg. He will pound the running game, and he will power his way through for the first down.
Yeah, I thought he wasn't going to get any yards there, and he managed to power through for 4. And again, it just shows you the size of this offense.
We saw Konigsberg. Here's the rest of the Greenwich offense. Their offensive line, Von Balakis, Kiernan, both two-way players playing well. Then the receivers and backs. Konigsberg will begin to start at running back. And look out for Charlie Dixon returning from an injury that he had against St. Joe's 2 weeks ago, a upper leg injury. He's back today, already making an impact on the defensive end, going to make an impact on the offensive end today.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that you have a lot of these Greenwich players that play both ways. And so we're going to see a lot of, any players who have it, they're going to have it, and they're going to have a big impact on the game. But on the other side of that, if there's any players who may not be feeling up to speed today, they could actually have a really large negative impact on Greenwich's effectiveness.
Ball on the 44-yard line. Greenwich going to get the 2nd and 6 now. Konigsberg to Wilson's left. In the shotgun, trips receivers. Wilson drops back. Throws this one, looking downfield, and flag is thrown. That's going to be pass interference on Morgan Rupenstein. He was looking for it all, and Charlie Dixon.
I mean, unfortunately, yeah, that's definitely going to be pass interference on the defense. Almost caught there by Dixon as well. So, if you're Rupenstein, you're kind of shaking your head with the interference, but, you really can't allow that pass to get caught.
Dixon, the big-time playmaker, pass interference called against Darien and Morgan Rupenstein. So this is going to give Greenwich a new life here in this first quarter. Ball now on the 41-yard line. Greenwich is going to keep on marching. Darien's defense, we knew they were going to be tested. I don't think we knew they were going to be tested right off the gun like this. But just like this, Greenwich is knocking on the red zone.
Yeah, I mean, that's what happens when you make mistakes in the defense like that, pass interference.
Play action pass just over the head of number 11, Charlie Dixon. They had DeLuca go for the diversion on it, but Dixon can't bring it in, thus resulting in 2nd and 10.
Also, really nice pressure from, I believe it was Reeser, but you're going to see this linebacker core. They really like to bring extra players, and let's see if they can sort of overpressure this very, very large Greenwich offensive line.
2nd and 10 for the Cardinals. 2 receivers on the near side, 1 on the far. Hands this one off to Konigsberg. And he is snuffed immediately for a gain of 1. That's Jack Konigsberg. He's had 64 carries for a little under 500 yards this season. He's having a good year. Splits time with George Von Velakis, but the two of them make a very good running back core for this Cardinals team. Yeah,
absolutely. And a much better job by Darien stopping the run there. You saw that Greenwich line trying to push the pile, but Darien kept on adding players onto the pile and managed to bring them down and get into a 3rd and long situation.
Wilson and Konigsberg. Trips on the near side. 3rd and 9. Darien on their feet. Wilson over the middle and just to the feet of DeLuca. 3rd down, no good.
Intended receiver was Don DeLuca.
Yeah, that's a situation where you have that was a really good job on the Darien defense to provide pressure, especially when Wilson was throwing to an open receiver there. But Wilson had a little bit too much pressure. He underthrew the ball, and he couldn't get that crucial completion.
So Greenwich is now going to lead the offense on the field. Not quite in Earhart's punting range and not quite in the field goal range of Boone. So Wilson and co will stay out on the field. 4th and 9 on the Darien 40-yard line. 6:36 left here in this opening quarter.
Very aggressive play to go for it, but Greenwich must have confidence in this offense.
Wilson. He's got to drop back with it. Throws it. And it is caught. Dixon hauls it in. First down, Cardinals. Charlie Dixon making the impact we talked about. He saw 16 receptions in the first 4 games alone, and that is a second or third target already today.
Really nice job by Dixon to sort of get his feet right on the out-of-bounds line and to get that ball in for the first down. I mean, that was clearly a design throw to Dixon with how fast he came out, even after going 10 yards.
Big catch from Dixon. Greenwich will now set up the twin receivers. Takes the handoff, throws this one, completes it to Whalegum. And eventually Robert McElhouse, Gerlamo, and the rest of the committee will take him down. But a big pickup for Whalegum, and Greenwich is going to continue to march downfield.
I like that line, the committee. And I think that's actually a very good way to describe the Darien defensive backs, because everybody has been contributing to this team. And you know, there hasn't really ever been one standout player, and you saw it there with them all coming together to bring that player down.
No players on it. Greenwich thought they got the jump from the wave. They don't have it. Wilson will now check over to his sideline. He's got 10 on the play clock. Wilson drops back with it. He's being pressured. He's going to keep it himself and rush. Flag is thrown. He's across the 20, and eventually will be dragged down at the 15-yard line, but there is a flag on the play.
Yeah, it looked like there was some sort of holding and or a block in the back, and I'm going to assume this one's coming back.
We're going to see if the referee is bringing this one back.
It looks like they are.
Holding against the Cardinals, so that one's coming back quite a ways.
Brings the ball back to the 35.
Coming all the way back to the 35-yard line now after the holding on Greenwich.
Second down, 14.
And now what Greenwich likes to see, they had the momentum. Yeah. It's going to take them back a bit, but they are still on second down.
Yeah, and with this pass-heavy offense, 2nd and 15 is bad, but you know it may not be as bad as a team compared to a team like Darien, who has shorter passes and more reliance on runs.
Wilson drops back, throws this one. It's deflected. Jack Barber with the deflection, and they're going to call the incompletion on it. But Barber going up and swatting that ball down.
I mean, yeah, that's what you want to see out of the Williams commit, right? Just a lot of power there, and he just managed to get that ball right down. And beautiful play from Barber.
Jack Barber having a nice year. He had 2 pass deflections against Ludlow last week. He picks up his first right there. And now this will set up a long 3rd and 15 for the Cardinals. You got to assume Greenwich is going to look to Dixon, Whalegum, or one of those two. Von Velakis will be back to rush. Wilson in the shotgun.
Yeah, I wouldn't feel safe here if you're Darien.
Wilson. Again going, this time to Whalegum. He can't get there. Good defense by McElhouse. And just over Whalegum's head. This will set up 4th down for the Cardinals.
Yeah, that's a mistake by Wilson there. He had all day to throw that ball, and he just couldn't get it to his receiver. And a really good job by McElhouse to keep tight and sort of keep the receiver under pressure.
So Greenwich will now keep the offense on the field. They have the kicking likes of Boone. He made a 30-yarder last week against Trumbull. But they're going to go for it on 4th and 15 and look to keep this first offensive drive going.
Yeah, I think it's the right call to go for it here. If you can't kick and you can't punt, why not?
Out of the shotgun, Wilson drops back. He's being pressured. Barber, he throws it. Whalegum can't get it. Good defense there. Turnover on downs.
Really good defense by McElhouse to keep Whalegum's arm down and to keep the ball out of his hand. It looked like he was going to be able to get a snag with his right arm, and McElhouse was right there, and a really big stop for the Blue Wave.
So Darien will take back over after the teams exchange the turnover on downs. That's exactly what Darien's looking for right there. Greenwich driving down the field, the pass or the holding sets them back, and they make the big stop on the 4th down. So Darien will take back over Simeon Dahl, Wilson, and the rest of the team. Trips receivers on the near side. Dahl, he's going to take it himself with the quarterback keeper. Has a hole along the near side. He'll be pushed out of bounds by number 11, Dixon.
That's a big advantage to Darien's offense. I mentioned that the receivers are fast, but they're also actually very big and surprisingly strong. And so you can really use your receivers very well in blocking situations. And just there, you got 5 yards with a combination of your receiver size and your quarterback speed.
So ball on the 41 yet now. Dahl will set up with the trips on the far side. And they're going to go the 5 receiver play yet again. So Wilson out to potentially catch a pass. He caught a touchdown last week against Ludlow. Might be a target here. 5 receivers on it. Dahl over the middle, completes it to Herget. Herget's still up. He will bring it across the 50. Trevor Herget off to a hot start in this one.
Yeah, really good play by Herget. I mean, I like that play call, especially because, you know, it spreads out the defense. And, you know, the run is never not an option when it comes to Dahl. And so you spread out the defense and you give Dahl the option to run or throw that short pass over the middle to get 5 yards, and that's exactly what you need.
So Trevor Herget picks up the first down. Like I said, the two-way player, new two-way player. He had 16 receptions entering play, 5 touchdowns, and he's only played receiver for 4 games this year.
Oh, yeah, I mean, he's looked incredible. And that's an understatement.
Four receivers on the far side. Dahl will drop back, throw it to the lone receiver, and McMullen, he hauls it in. Isaac McMullen picking up 6 on it. And Darien will now march.
This is definitely more of the game that I would expect if you're Greenwich's defense. I mean, their run defense is very, very good, and you know Wilson's a good running back, but you know I think it would be unwise to try to plow him right into that very thick line.
Will indeed, and Darien will now once again go the 5 receiver setup. So I guess they know that Greenwich has struggled against the passing game all season. Most of the yards they've given up in the past 2 weeks have been on the air. So Darien's now going to go to the air. Here's Dahl dropping back, throws this one to Herget. Herget's across the 40, and then eventually up to the 35-yard line for the first down.
That was a really good play by Dahl, especially because he had number 48, Galetta, just bearing down on him, and Dahl managed to just stand there, stand fast, and get the ball out and took the hit.
So Darien picking up yet another first down in this one. Watching the DAF Media Network, Braden Shank and Michael Mercine with you. So glad you could be with us, wherever you may be. Dahl hands this one off to Wilson. The first time in a while they've gone to the running game, and right on cue, stopped immediately by Von Velakis and Kiernan. As I was saying, this is a Greenwich team that doesn't give up many yards on the rushing game. Most of their yards they've given up have been by the air, and they played St. Joe's, Trumbull, all by the air. The teams have been able to get the yards on them. So the rushing game, this offensive line or defensive line has been stellar on all year.
The nice thing about Wilson, though, is that he can sort of make plays happen out of nowhere, and that's what you need. Because, you know, you still have to run the ball because you can't show that you're going to pass every single play. And so having Wilson, he can be really agile and he can get around, potentially get around this offensive line or defensive line.
Dahl drops back, throws this one, and just past the reach of Picorni. Was looking for Brady Picorni, and he couldn't haul it in.
Really good block here by Wilson. I mean, that's just an example of how versatile everybody on this Darien team is, and they're going to really need to show that versatility to come to play against Greenwich today.
They are indeed, and 3rd and 10 now for Darien. This is where they got stopped on their first drive, looking to make some more forward progress on it. As now they will go 4 receivers on the far side of the field again. An interesting play up by the offensive coordinator for Darien, who's also Mike Forget, the head coach. Dahl scrambling with it, and he will be still up fighting through Galetta, making his way back to the line of scrimmage and some more. Simeon Dahl gets his way up to the 31-yard line.
If that's not scrappy football, I don't know what is. I mean, you can see Dahl making people miss, running like Herget does, actually, and that was a really, really, really good play by Dahl. And, you know, I was thinking that he probably should have thrown it out when he was getting pulled down, but clearly that's why he's playing quarterback and I'm not.
You had Galetta, who absolutely demolished Dahl earlier in this first quarter, and Simeon Dahl fought through him, still went up with it, and took it over for a gain of 6. And now we see Simeon Dahl will go back out. Wilson to his left. Twin receivers on the play, and that is a clear offsides on the Cardinals. The snap count, the fake snap count works to perfection, and Darien's got themselves a first down.
Oh yeah, Darien is. You know, you could tell they could just smell the red zone right now, and you know those are the mistakes that could characterize this game because you just can't give up a first down like that, especially on fourth down, right? Especially on fourth down. Those are mistakes that you're going to be thinking about later, and you're going to be kicking yourself.
So offsides on the Cardinals. Darien, 1st and 10.
Trips right.
At the 25-yard line.
Dahl
Dahl
side.
throws this one, looking for Wilson. Jake, he can't get there, just drops it. Jake Wilson thought that he had the catch and the touchdown, but it falls out of his hands, and Darien comes up empty-handed. You take another look at it. Wilson saw it in the air, just ran right past the ball.
Yeah.
A bummer, flag on the play.
It looks like he just lost sight of that ball, and unfortunately he had to touch his hands, but that ball would have come back anyway with that
Personal
foul.
foul against James Tom and the offensive line, so this one's coming back a ways, so I guess it's a good thing you didn't catch it then.
Oh yeah, absolutely. At least you don't feel like you just had a touchdown robbed from you with that personal foul.
Personal foul against the Wave.
Dead ball foul. 2nd down, 25.
Dead ball foul, 2nd and 25, so they lose the down and they lose 15 yards. Trips on the far side of the field for Dahl. Wilson to his left. Jake Wilson throws this one. Hurd gets wide open. Trevor catches it. Dixon will take him down at the 10, but Darien advances into the red zone.
That was really, first of all, absolutely beautiful throw to Herget, like right into his hands, but really, really good defense by Dixon there to bring him down and stop that end zone, or stop that touchdown and give Greenwich an opportunity on the goal line.
So Trevor Herget will fight his way down into the 10. And just like that, Darien's in business late in this first quarter.
Trips left.
Trips left on the play. Dahl, he's going to rush it. Coming to the near side. Blockers are down. Dahl's loose. He dives. He comes up a yard short.
Another really, really, really good rush by Dahl there. And the thing I love most about that rush by Dahl is that he stayed disciplined. He's kept going around the edge, and he kept extending the edge. There was more than one space where I thought he might try to cut in and try to just get greedy and go for the end zone, but he didn't, and he stayed around his blockers, and he got really close, and now they have a near goal line opportunity.
2nd and goal for Darien on the 3-yard line. They're looking to finish this drive, which has been magnificent on it. Second and 3, hands off to Wilson. He goes right up the middle, and he is in. Touchdown, Darien. Jake Wilson rushing the 3 yards, and the Wave strikes first.
I mean, that's exactly what you want to see for Darien, I mean, of course, but to go up against a team that scored 45 points a game and to have the first score and have it be late in the first quarter, that's really good, and that's a great feeling for all involved.
Jake Wilson puts Darien up 6-0. Anson Sikora out for the PAT. But Jake Wilson with the touchdown. Low snap, Sikora puts it up, and it is good. 7-0. Darien leads.
Beautiful kick from Sikora there. And you're up 7-0. What more do you want against a high-powered offense, right?
So Darien, a good drive on that one. And just like that, the Wave leads 7-0. And what do you think Greenwich is going to do now that they're trailing 7-0 in this one?
I mean, I think that they're going to tell themselves to stay disciplined. You know, you don't build an offense that scores as much as Greenwich does without a little bit of discipline, even if it's a lot of talent, right? And so if Greenwich's offense is going to be out here and they're going to, be really aggressive, and they're going to try to be really aggressive, and they're going to try to get back on the scoreboard, and they're just going to be throwing the ball and airing it out, they're probably not going to look good. So they're going to need to keep going with their game plan, keep going with, more control passes and more control plays, and not just try to run up the score as soon as possible. So
7-0, Darien leads. Trevor Herget will be out to kick it away after the touchdown from Jake Wilson. Again, had the monster week last week at Ludlow. 4 touchdowns and making an impact in this one, putting Darien on the board 7-0. And he has now scored in each of Darien's last 6 games, Jake Wilson.
Oh, yeah, I mean, that's exactly what you want to see from Wilson. And he's versatile in the air, he's versatile on the ground, and an absolutely great player to have in this offense.
This one fielded by Augusti. Augusti, he's on the far side, loosed. Augusti now across the 50. Good return. And Auguste will now set Greenwich up on some good field position.
Big play for Greenwich. I mean, not only does it get you the field position you want, but it also sort of, you know, it lets some of the air out of Darien, because Darien, you know, you heard how excited everyone was on the sideline, and now, you know, to get that close to the goal this quickly, really big.
So Greenwich will set up on their own 49-yard line. They had the turnover and downs on their first possession, looking for better fortunes late in this opening quarter. Hands this one off, keeps it himself, throws it, fires it to Wilgum. James Wilgum's loose. He's taking it to the near side, and he passed Schwind, and eventually taken out by number 21, Garlamo. A big game by Wilgum.
Huge game by Wilgum, and really he was able to show his speed there, but unfortunately he sort of cut to his right when he had open field in front of him. I think he was trying to get behind the one other receiver that was acting as a blocker, and he actually let himself get stopped, where I thought he had that for a touchdown.
Wilgum, the star senior receiver for the Cardinals, he had a 32-yard catch against Trumbull last week, and just like that, making an impact is now Wilson and Konigsberg go back and work in the red zone. Wilson throws this one over the middle. Caught by who else but Wilgum. He will power his way down to the 3-yard line.
Okay. This is the matchup that I think I'm most excited for in this game, because Darien has showed time and time again that their goal line defense is, I don't want to use the word elite, but it's definitely very, very good. And Greenwich has been very good with their goal line offense. Wilson has been a huge threat. I mean, you saw only 157 rushing yards and 10 touchdowns. You don't get that unless you have a really, really good goal line quarterback. And so we're going to see, you know, these two teams in positions where they're very good right here, right now.
A big catch by Wilgum. And Greenwich will try to rush it with Wilson. Did he get there? No, he's short. That was a play that they ran pretty much every week to this point, and it's worked. That handoff to the quarterback, Wilson. That's why he has 10 rushing touchdowns on the season. He has been so effective at those and finding the holes, getting over the goal line. Instead, he comes up short, and that will take us to the end of the first quarter. Darien leading the Greenwich Cardinals 7-0 in this one. Michael, what did you see in the first quarter?
I saw Darien doing what they needed to do well. I wouldn't necessarily call them a pass-first offense, but Darien has been passing very well. Other than a few overthrown balls towards the end of the first drive, Darien passing has looked very good, and Darien's pass defense has looked very good. Sure, we expected things to be a little bit lopsided. We expected things to be a little bit lopsided when it comes to the lines, but the lines have done really well, and instead, the Darien pass defense and Darien pass offense has played incredibly well.
We're now going to send you down to the third member of our crew, Cam McGraw, with more on the first quarter.
Hey guys, the last time the Darien Blue Wave lost to this Greenwich Cardinals team in the regular season was back in 2007, where the Greenwich Cardinals defeated the Darien Blue Wave 28-7. Since then, the Darien Blue Wave have been undefeated. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you, Cameron. And now we're going to go back to the other end zone and see if the Greenwich Cardinals have better luck on the other side.
Wow, thanks for not taking my line here. I step out for a second, and I'm getting replaced by Michael Mercine.
Well, I mean, important thing to point out, right? That's why you have me. One really interesting thing that we've seen from the Cardinals is that they love their quarterback sneak. I mean, I would too, if I have these monsters on the line. And so we'll see if they're just willing to keep running that sneak, or if they're going to try to be creative here. Doesn't look like
Wilson on the 1-yard line. He's going to take it himself and score. Touchdown, Cardinals. They get the equalizer, and the quarterback, Wilson, picks up his 11th touchdown on the season.
That's example number one of what their goal line style is. I mean, you can just see it's falling forward less than it is blocking, but you know, when they have such a size imbalance, they can get away with, you know, maybe not technically skilled quarterback sneak, but definitely one that gets the points nonetheless.
Ross is going to come out for the PAT defense. A good score by Wilson, and Greenwich will now give Boone a chance to tie this game at 7. Good snap, good hold. Boone kicks it up, and it is perfect. We are tied at 7 here at the Darien High School Stadium. You take another look at it. Boone, a great PAT from him. And just a perfect kick from Boone on that one.
Great kick, too. I mean, you saw that it passed like through the upper portion of the uprights there, and really high kick. Looked like it could have been good from 10 more yards, 20 more yards, actually.
So Greenwich will trot back out with some pip in their stride now after the successful drive.
Wilson and Picorni back deep.
Wilson and Picorni will be back to take the kick.
Sergo Boone will do the kicking.
And Boone will kick it away from the far hash for Greenwich. 11:57 left in this second quarter. But these teams are evenly matched thus far.
Yeah, Darien's had a very good performance in this. Darien's had a very good performance in this first quarter, and unfortunately, getting just beat by a long kick return.
This one fielded by Wilson. He will take along the far side, still be up, power his way to the 35-yard line. And Darien will trot back out on the offense now.
Yeah, I mean, really good blocking there by Wilson. A really good job. Looks like he actually almost fell more than he was brought down until he did actually end up getting brought down by number 4, John Insignia.
First and 10, Darien.
So Darien will now trot back on the offense. Both teams 2 drives in the first quarter, both scoring on their second drive and having the turnover and downs on their first try at it. So the third try for Darien. Simeon Dahl back out, hands this one off to Wilson. Jake Wilson out, sweep to the near side and taken down by Insignia for no gain.
Really good play by Insignia to come up, to recognize that there was a pass around, a run around the edge, and to come up and make the stop before Wilson could get around the edge.
So 2nd and 9, this sets up for the Wave. Dahl will go trips on the far side. Throw this one. Short pass just through the hands of Herget. Incomplete. Was looking for Trevor Herget. Trevor couldn't keep it in. And the incompletion will force 3rd down for the Wave.
That's a very hard pass to catch, especially when you have Insignia just breathing down your neck. And unfortunately, he couldn't get it together. And now Darien has to show how they can tackle a 3rd and long.
3rd down for Darien. Twin receivers on the play. Dahl throws this one downfield, looking for Wilson. Incomplete through the receivers of Greenwich. But this will set up 4th down for the Wave.
Yeah, that was incredible coverage by Dixon to come in. And I thought that Wilson was going to be able to come in and catch that ball, but Dixon came in off of Wilson's back and managed to break up that pass.
So Trevor Herget will be out to punt for Darien. Augusta will be the returner for the Cardinals.
Fourth down, Darien set to punt.
Herget with the punt. Augusta will call the fair catch.
Brandon Auguste.
Just like that, Greenwich will take back over.
And so, I mean, you said it. Darien now on the first drive of this quarter not scoring, and so let's see if Greenwich can come out and sort of break that pattern that we seem to be establishing this game.
So Greenwich takes back over on the offense after the Darien punt. The first punt we saw of that first half. And Konigsberg, Wilson, and co. will take back over. Wilson hands it off to Konigsberg. He's going to go right up the middle, powering his way through to Gerlamo for a game.
Really nice hole there by the offensive line, and Konigsberg just managed to run exactly where he needed to and get the yards he needed. Pretty simple.
Good for 7. 2nd down, 3.
So Wilson and Konigsberg back out. In motion is Walgum. Hands it off to Konigsberg. He will go right up the middle, taken down by Mick McElhose. Good game from Konigsberg on that one. Actually, it was Barber with the tackle.
Yeah, good stop by Barber to, I mean, Konigsberg looked like he was going to get a lot of open field there after him. But Barber able to use his power, use his arms, and bring down Konigsberg without having, even from behind him.
1st and 10 now for the Cardinals. Trips on the far side. Wilson fakes it, throws it to Dixon. Dixon with the completion. Fighting through Rupenstein. Reeser will come over for help and eventually take him down.
Yeah, great stop by Rubenstein, and an even better job by Reeser to get there and help the tackle. The Darien's had trouble tackling, but Greenwich has really been stubborn when it comes to going down, and so Darien knows that they're going to need to sort of pile on to every tackle they've been getting, and that's what they've been doing well.
2nd and 6 for Greenwich now. Wilson, Konigsberg back out in the backfield. Twin receivers on the play. Hands it off, fakes it, throws it. That one's complete. Walgum's across the 50. He's still up. James Walgum fighting through defenders left and right. Gerlamo will take him down, but not before James Walgum brings the Cardinals in the red zone.
Yeah, that was a really good throw and really good blocking. McElhose, you see, he's really far back. He actually got pushed back about 10 to 15 yards from where the catch was because he got stuck around a Darien defender who got blocked. And so really good blocking by the other Greenwich receivers to facilitate a really long pass and a really crucial pass.
So Greenwich in the red zone looking to add another one to their tally. Trips on the near side. Fakes it, throws it. Caught by Dixon. Dixon's got some room. Charlie Dixon's up into the 5. He will be taken out at the 1. Good defense by Gerlamo and Brennan. But Charlie Dixon has not been able to be stopped so far tonight.
No. He's looked really good. Great tackle by Schwinn to come up behind and, bring him out of bounds. He knew he wasn't bringing him down, but he knew the bound marker was right there, and he got him right out.
And just like that, ball on the 2-yard line. 1st and goal for the Cardinals. Looking for some magic. Greenwich, a high-powered offense.
Interesting ball spot. It looks like it's going to make the quarterback sneak difficult, but I'm going to assume they're going to try it nonetheless.
Hands this one off and touchdown Cardinals.
Quarterback sneak
Wilson with his 2nd of the game. And just like that, Greenwich goes up 13-7.
I think that quarterback sneak is a really indicative of how these two teams are matched a little bit because, Darien, good coaching staff, they know that Darien's coaching staff knows that they're going to run the quarterback sneak on the goal line. That's what they've done almost every single play they've had on the goal line, and yet Greenwich has still been able to push through and still been able to get these goal line touchdowns, and Darien hasn't been able to make the goal line stops they usually can.
Jack Wilson, the 2nd touchdown for the Cardinals. Boone puts the kick up, and that one is going all the way into the woods. 14-7 Cardinals.
Good. Cardinals up 14-7.
You take another look at it. Boone with the PAT for the Cardinals.
Another kick really nice and high up through the top parts of the uprights, and that's exactly the kick you want from your kicker. There's nothing more to be said about that.
Darien huddling up. The defense needs to do something about that. Greenwich has now marched down on their pass 2.
Yeah, it's clear the Darien defense needs to make an adjustment. It looks like it's mostly in the secondary because on the first drive and some parts of the second drive, Greenwich was struggling with getting the passes out and just completing passes. But now that Wilson seems to be zoned in, seeing that his passes are connecting, Darien secondary is going to have to step up, and they're going to have to go against these really talented Greenwich receivers. And if they can't, then there's not much Darien can do to hang on.
Darien had to punt on their last drive. The Cardinals, 3 drives, 2 touchdowns, one of which a turnover on downs. Here's Boone now on the kickoff. Boone will find his way to Picorni at the 20. Picorni fields it. And he will be taken down immediately by a committee of Cardinals.
I don't think a group of Cardinals is called a committee.
Well,
There's a lot of them. I know, I agree.
Two.
I wonder what the term is.
3.
You can make a committee out of 3 people. All right, I'll give you that.
Want me to keep counting?
No. I got it.
See, if we were professional here, I would pull my little marker out. I would circle them, count them on the screen for you.
That might be. It might be a long time before we could do anything like that.
But what we do know, though, is Darien's back on the offense.
Absolutely.
Simeon Dahl looking to get something going here, trailing by 7, trailing by for the first time in this one. Wilson on the run game takes it for a gain of 5.
Wilson up the middle.
Different look from Darien. I don't know if they were. I don't know if Greenwich wasn't expecting that, but you know, Darien has had no luck so far with the rush, and to see a nice, easy 5-yard dive. Maybe they caught Greenwich off guard, but it looks like Darien is starting to finally click, at least with their lines.
DeLuca with the tackle. Just like that, it is 2nd and 4 for the Wave. Simeon Dahl now takes it himself, the QB keeper. Taken down immediately. DeLuca's there to stop him.
I mean, it's almost unfair how long his arms are. I mean, look at this. Dahl is 4 feet away from DeLuca, and DeLuca manages to make a little bit of a dive and get him down with one hand. I mean, there's no beating that to some extent.
Curious, how tall are you, Michael Mercien?
I am 6'2".
DeLuca's 6'7".
Oh my God, yeah.
So he's got some inches on you.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I mean, stopping him does not seem like it's going to be an option. I mean, it does seem like it's going to be an option, but it seems like it's going to be definitely an uphill battle if you get my meaning.
6'7", Dom DeLuca making the tackle on that one. Darien's going to try again. Now 3rd and 4. Wilson rolling to his far side, being pressured, throws this one over the middle to nobody. Para was about to take him down.
Yeah, I mean, that's just the drawback of being a left-handed quarterback, right? Is that you're going to get, I mean, you're going to get blindside hits either way, but you got a blindside hit coming. Dahl could have got the ball out a little bit faster, but he just didn't see the defender there, and he took the hit for it.
4th down, 4.
7-11, 4th down for Darien. Herget will come on to punt. Augusti will be back to return.
Trevor Herget.
Herget with the punt. It's up in the air. And that will be stopped at the 48-yard line. Not the best of punts from Hergs.
Hey, DJFL players, please head down towards the scoreboard. All DJFL players, head on down.
All right, so I mean, as you hear, today is especially lively and especially celebratory because on top of it being homecoming, it's also DJFL Day, I believe. And so we're going to get a little bit extra as far as halftime celebrations go, which is always nice.
We will indeed. I mean, it might not beat that Wilton
No.
pregame halftime we saw
God.
at Fujitani Field. If you weren't watching that, 300 kids raced across the field. I thought somebody was going to get hurt, but it was magnificent as it's just over the head of Walgum. Was looking for his favorite receiver, James Walgum, couldn't quite get there.
Yeah, I mean, that was a good job by Darien of pressuring Wilson and forcing him to miss passes. And, you know, these Greenwich receivers are a little bit more open than we've seen Darien allow throughout the rest of the year. And so it's really, really going to be on the Darien, it's really going to be on the linebackers and especially on the defensive line to pressure Wilson and force him to make mistakes because he has been making a few throwing errors today, especially when under pressure.
So Wilson will be back. Twin receivers on the play. Hands it off to Konigsberg. Konigsberg stopped immediately by J.D. Brennan, tackle for the loss.
Stopped at the line of scrimmage.
And Barber coming up, the assist from Barber. The Barber and Brennan tackle on that one and stopping Konigsberg right in his place.
I mean, really good stop by Barber, really good stop by Darien to, you know, keep them on 3rd and long, and now we have Darien coming up for another 3rd down.
Herget coming on the field for Rupenstein, looking to play the tight defense. They know they're going to pass it. All 5 players out for receiving this. Bambalakis in motion. Wilson drops back, throws this one to Walgum. Walgum taken down by Garlamo, and it will be a 4th down for the Cardinals.
I don't think they're punting this, do you?
I do not think so.
Yeah,
We have
no.
not seen Earhart and the punting game quite yet. They will actually bring Konigsberg back on.
Yeah.
So two running backs for the Cardinals.
Interesting choice for 4th and 5. I mean, they've had some pretty long runs, but Greenwich has been succeeding much more with the pass than they have with the run. So to bring 2 running backs out on 4th and 5, I don't know what they're going to do here. It might be a misdirect, but we'll see.
4th and 5. The Cardinals looking to keep the drive going. 2 running backs on the play. And Wilson's going to actually punt it. Flag has been thrown on it. Not sure what that was.
He's got a flag on the
Flag has been thrown on that.
I don't think I've ever seen that in my life.
procedure.
Yeah, procedure or false start on Greenwich. That penalty is going to be declined, but false start on the Cardinals. Earhart's the usual punter for Greenwich.
Yeah.
I don't know what Wilson was punting out there.
That
and
might
it
have-
wasn't the best punt.
No, it wasn't. I mean, that didn't look. It almost didn't look practiced. I wonder if that was some sort of option for Wilson, because I did realize, I was thinking as the 2 running backs came out that they could have been used as blockers, and they actually did back up as blockers. And so I'm unsure if it was some sort of quarterback option and he just decided that it would be best to punt, or if something else was going on and they were trying to catch Darien on some sort of penalty.
So whatever that was, Darien will now take over on the offense. 5:30 left before the half. Dahl throws this one complete to Wilson. And Jake is taken down. A big tackle from Insignia. That's John Insignia, the junior, the team's leader in tackles, 64 entering play.
I mean, you can see why. He comes up and he has no fear against Wilson. Wilson is a pretty shifty running back. He's not as fast as some others, especially not as fast as Herget. However, he can juke you. He can make you miss. And Insignia doesn't let himself even get put in the opportunity to miss. He just runs in. He gets Wilson before he can even get up and going. And that was a really good play by Insignia.
So Darien now forced to regroup. 2nd and 14 on it. Dahl
A lot
throws
of time.
this one. Looking for Herget. Trevor can't get there. 3rd and 14 this will set up. You take another look at it. Herget just not able to reel it in. And now Darien really needs something here. A very short drive for them.
Yeah. I mean, when you're going up against a Greenwich team that plays both ways, you don't want a 3 and out because you want to give your defense time to cool down while their defense and offense at the same time has to stay out on the field and has to keep working. And so a 3 and out, not what you want, and it's going to give Greenwich another opportunity to use their pass.
Dahl looking for Herget. Trevor hauls it in. He will pick up a couple, eventually be dragged down at the line of scrimmage. That is the great defensive likes of John Insignia, and he did not turn down on that one. He was holding on to Herget as Trevor's trying to take him away.
I mean, really good play by both players there. And I mean, it just so happened that Insignia had a piece of Herget's jersey, and there was no chance he was letting go. But Herget put up a great fight. I mean, it looked like he was about to get free, and unfortunately, he couldn't get free for the yards, and now Darien's gonna have to punt.
Herget will punt. August will be back to return it. This one up in the air. Takes a bounce. Going at the 40-yard line. Darien will watch it. And let it stop at the 42-yard line. And that's where the Cardinals will take over. Looking to stay hot in this one. And Greenwich, they have scored on their last 2 drives, have gone in the short handoff to Wilson.
Yeah.
So they're going to look to get another drive going. They have 3:54 before the half, and the Cardinals will receive the kick out of the half. So momentum's definitely in the Cardinals' favor.
Absolutely, and there's a big opportunity for them to change that momentum even further. I mean, they score here and receive. I mean, I don't like talking about ifs at the half, but Greenwich is in a position to blow this game wide open.
Just saw the stats from Wilson on your screen. He's going to head it off to Konigsberg. Konigsberg will take it for a gain of 2.
Good stop by the Darien defense. I mean, only allowing 2 yards against this run game. It seems to be what they've been getting, but Darien has stayed consistent. And, you know, often when a team is being, I don't want to use the word terrorized, but when a team's been struggling with the pass, they actually play too far back and let the run start to hurt them. Darien's been very vigilant on the run game, and it's shown.
Wilson handing it off to Von Velakis. And Bombalakis will take it across the 50.
Up the middle, close to the first down.
Close to the first down, not quite yet there. It's going to set up third down for the Cardinals.
Third down, short 1.
3rd and 1. You see the stats for Konigsberg on your screen. 21 yards. He's only averaging 3.5 a carry, but it's really been just the passing game that has gotten Greenwich going.
Absolutely. I mean, that him averaging 3.5 yards a carry is very indicative of how Darien's been playing this measured defense.
Flag thrown, offsides on the wave, so.
Actually, kind of a rare penalty for the Blue Wave, which is surprising. Darien is really, really good at sort of jumping the ball, and I mean, I stress this every time I see it, but the Darien linebackers specifically, they're really good at getting momentum up and crossing the line of scrimmage just as the ball is snapped. And so they really do risk offsides and encroachment a lot more, but they're very well disciplined, and occasionally if one or two will get away, and that happened there.
Trips on the near side. Wilson, he drops back. Throws this one downfield, looking for Dixon. Charlie's there. He catches it. Touchdown, Cardinals. Charlie Dixon hauling it in, and it's 20-7 Greenwich.
I mean, Wilson had all day, but, you know, really good throw by Wilson, really good catch by Dixon. There's that, I mean, right into his hands, but, you know, it can't be understated. Wilson's pocket was pretty much collapsing there, and he still managed to get that ball out and get it placed really well. So a really great throw, really great catch, and Dixon just managed to get the separation he needed for the touchdown.
Charlie Dixon was injured in the game against St. Joseph, had an upper leg injury, returns today after missing 2 weeks, and he makes that catch right there. Unbelievable. And Boone's now looking to give Greenwich the 14-point lead. Kick is up, and it is good. 21-7, Greenwich leads.
Cardinals stretch their lead, 21-7. 2:15 remaining in the half.
2:15 left for Darien to get something going against Greenwich. They also get the ball coming out of the half, keep in mind. So definitely some momentum for Greenwich here, looking to carry that over.
Certainly.
And Darien, you see on the sideline, they're looking to get something going here.
Yeah, very slow sideline right now. And, you know, you see that just Darien, I think they're probably not expecting to be to be down by 14 points, especially with Greenwich receiving. So Darien's going to have a chip on their shoulder for this drive specifically, because if you can come back, if you can score, at least make progress here, you go into the half feeling a little bit better than the scoreboard might show.
You just saw on your screen the drive for Greenwich, 8 plays on it, and they result in a touchdown from Dixon. Here's Boone. He will be kicking it off for the Cardinals once again. Darien now down 14-0. This is not what they like to see. They knew that Greenwich was going to come in, guns firing, 41 points a game they average, and they have not let anything up. This one kicked off, fielded by Wilson at the 5-yard line. Jake is rushing it. Wilson now taking it, and eventually is taken out at the 25-yard line. Good game from Jake, and
really great example.
Taken down.
Really great example of just how aggressive a runner he is. I mean, he just came in there. He got hit by 2, maybe 3 players at what looked like the 23, and he still managed to push them and bowl them over and get himself over to the 26 with just his momentum.
So just like that, 1st and 10 for the Wave. 2:09 left before the half. They will go twin receiver, trips on the near side rather. Still no Liam McBride yet today. Throws this one, and Herget catches it, makes a nice move. Trevor's still up. He's got some room, and eventually will be taken out by Peticano.
Herget taken out of bounds.
Anthony Peticano, the senior, takes him down, and a big gain for Trevor Herget. That looked like a play that Darien wasn't going to get much out of. Herget caught it, had a defender right to him, and then eventually hustles his way up for the gain of 10.
And that's what Herget does, though, right? I mean, he's not his specialty, but one of the reasons he's so good is that he can make plays out of nothing. And so to get along the sideline, we've seen a few of those good plays where Darien's had really nice blocking and really nice tiptoe run along the sideline. And hopefully Darien can produce more of those and maybe get on the field here.
Dahl throws this one over the middle, and that one's deflected away. And Signa, my apology. Actually, Insinga, 3rd time's a charm. I have to get down. I'm not sure why I'm adding an N to the end of it, but nonetheless, John is a great junior defender for the Cardinals, and he makes that deflection.
Yeah, really I don't want to say unfortunate pass for Darien, but he did have number 9, DeLuca, bearing down on him there. However, Dahl had a lot of time in the pocket there, and unfortunately he couldn't make the pass there. But hopefully we'll see that Darien's offensive line seems to be giving him more and more time as they seem to get in the zone.
This one.
Airs it out.
And it is
Thrown to
good.
McGuckin.
Briggs McGuckin holds it in. What a play for Darien. They have some life in them.
I mean, amazing catch by McGuckin, too, especially. I mean, not to mention, amazing throw by Dahl. Amazing catch by McGuckin. I mean, McGuckin caught that ball with 3 other players, one of them being a Darien player, right around him in the air. And Dahl managed to get it right there. And, that's a shine of what this Darien offense can do really well. And they can play explosively when they need to.
1:50 left before the half. And Darien's looking to score before halftime. Dahl, he's being pressured and taken down. Number 8, Matthew Trimmer, the linebacker. The big blitz. And he was wide open, Trimmer. He had no one defending him.
Yeah, I mean, that's just one of those plays where Simeon Dahl's fast, but he can't be that fast, especially when you're running horizontally around.
Trevor is a fast guy.
Oh, yeah.
Plays ice hockey in the winters, got the speed there, broke through the line.
Oh, yeah.
Went face-to-face with Dahl, setting up 2nd and a mile for Darien. Right as we thought they had some life in them.
Yeah, I was going to say, another really good way to take air out of this Darien offense. But air seems to be the theme of this game, and so we'll see if Darien can go with an empty set.
Dahl now looking to get Darien back in it. Hail Mary downfield, looking for Wilson. Jake has it. Darien's not done yet. First down wave.
With the catch on the far sideline.
I mean, this is shades of Wilton to me a little bit, because Darien hasn't been passing particularly well. They passed really well on their first scoring drive, on their only scoring drive. However, now, when it comes to time, when you have 2 minutes left to get in the half, to get down the field, that Darien's making these long passes. Dahl is making really, really nice throws. I mean, that was right into Wilson's hands. And, you saw right there, Darien, when they're on, they can really get on.
Timeout taken by Darien. They're second of the half. 1:05 left before the half. Darien has the ball in the red zone, looking to convert on something here. They could desperately use a score. Trailing 14. Remember, Greenwich receives the kick coming out of the half, so this deficit could be a lot more here in about 15 minutes or so.
Oh yeah, that's what I was saying. Is I said that Greenwich was in position to blow this game right open, but Darien managed to come down 2 minutes. I mean, you don't ever really see a 2-minute drill before the half. But Darien knows that because Greenwich is receiving, they need to be aggressive here. And
gotta go now.
Yeah.
And now Darien will trot back out. 1st and goal on the 13-yard line.
As is the Darien High School band.
Trips on the near side. Dahl and Wilson in the backfields. Dahl throws this one to the end zone, looking for Picorni. He can't get there. Was looking to turn it around, and the ball just wasn't right there. Incompletion.
Yeah, I mean, it just looked like Picorni just wasn't ready for that ball. I mean, the way it looked to me, Dahl threw a little bit to the left, but Dahl threw right at the end of his route, and Picorni took a little bit of time to get space between himself and the defender, and unfortunately, they were just off pace and couldn't connect.
So 2nd and 10 for Darien. And this is going to be big right here if the Wave can keep the chains moving, get something. They have 60 seconds left before the half. Dahl throws this one over the middle. Caught by Herget. Trevor lunging for the end zone. And did he get there? No, they're going to call him short at the 1.
Greenwich seems to be claiming that they got the ball. I didn't see a fumble there, but it is on the bout as far as we can get.
Well, he was reaching for the pylon on it.
Yeah. No, he did drop that ball, and Greenwich defender did recover it, but it looked like his knee was down, and you had a ref right there, so I'll trust his eyes.
So 1st and goal for Darien. Now they get, or 2nd and goal rather. I guess they call him short.
No, 3rd and 1, I think. Yeah.
Timeout taken by Darien on it to figure it out. Not sure how that's possible. Herget was lunging for the end zone. Not sure how he did that from 3 yards away.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. I mean,
but that's where they is spotted.
Yeah, that puts Darien in an especially tough position because the way I see, they're probably going to have to try to get an extra yard and spike and take the time to figure out what they're going. So you could see potentially like a 3-play script here, but Darien needs to get this Darien needs to get this last few inches to, be able to score. But you'd rather have another play potentially, and so I don't know what Darien's going to do here.
So Darien takes the timeout, 3rd and 1 now. They have 19 seconds before the half, looking to make some magic. They are going to give him the first down. That makes more sense.
Yeah.
I was wondering how Herget from 3 yards away could somehow lunge for the pylon.
Yeah, I mean, he does have long arms.
I don't think he's got that long of
No,
arms, though.
don't think so.
So 1st and goal now for Darien on the 1-yard line. Dolan Wilson in the backfield, handing it off to Wilson. Pounding the running game. Referees hustling in the scrum. They're going to call him short. Darien's got to move quick now. And now timeout taken. And this is the final timeout on Darien. The last one went against Greenwich.
Gotcha. Actually, almost not necessarily a mistake by Greenwich, but if you leave Darien time for this one timeout, if Greenwich hadn't called that timeout, then Darien would be out of time here. Could be, at least.
Well, whatever the case is, Darien now will have one last chance at the end zone. And they are in desperate need of picking something up.
Seems like a little bit of miscommunication. I don't know. They broke the huddle earlier and now are huddling up again, and so.
So Darien will now get another try at it. 2nd and 1. You see Trevor Herget's line today. Dahl, he's going to look to pass it. Throwing this one. Picorni, he's down short. And Darien, the time will expire. And just like that, the Cardinals will survive out of that.
Darien fails to score.
Wow, what an interesting sequence there. They thought Picorni got in, but he didn't.
Yeah.
And that's how the half is going to end.
Everyone seemed to think Picorni had it. Even Picorni did, and he didn't give it to the ref, and they were out of time there.
A bummer there. The referee, or the coaching staff's going to talk with the referees. They had 2 short plays on that one, unable to score, and it's 21-7 heading into the half with Greenwich getting the kick coming out of the half. What do you think that Darien's going to need to do differently in the second half, Mercien?
I think Darien's going to need to they were making adjustments really well. They just need to finish those adjustments, and it's about finishing drives, right? Darien had 2 very close to goal line drives. They almost scored there. They almost scored there, and they almost scored at the beginning, and they couldn't complete the drive, and so now they just need to complete drives and get everything going.
So 21-7, Greenwich leads Darien at the half, and we are now going to send you down to our sideline, where our sideline reporter Cam McGraw is with Mike Forget, the head coach of the Darien Blue Wave, with his thoughts on the first half.
All right, hi Coach, a great last drive to end that first half. Sadly, unable to come with points. How do you plan to replicate a similar drive like that in the second half?
Well, we have to do what we did in the first quarter, which is get first downs, eat some clock, and drive the ball. We had to punt the ball a couple of times. That really hurt us.
All right, thanks, Coach. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Cam. And 21-7, Greenwich leads Darien. You're watching this DAF Media production, the joint venture of the Darien Athletic Foundation and the Darien Foundation. We're going to step aside when we return the second half between the Cardinals and the Wave.
The Darien Foundation was founded in 1998 by Richard and Maureen Chilton, and the thesis behind that founding was to bring technology to the Darien public school systems. And that launched us, and that got us going, and through technology and capital project initiatives, we've now funded over $5.5 million over the last 24 years to build a better Darien.
Our board really likes to get involved and assist the partners that we collaborate with, whether it's a grant for a youth project or a grant from a community service, schools, the police. Often they come to us with ideas that we help them bring to fruition.
The Darien Foundation recently awarded the Darien Police Department 2 grants. One was for laser shot and the other for Faro technology. Laser shot technology is based on decision making. It may come down to using their firearm, but in reality, we would like them to talk the situation down where you use less lethal force, and this program allows us to do that.
Police, drop the gun!
Faro technology gives us a 360-degree view, catching all the points we need to catch in our accident scene. It also takes a lot less time. This allows us to open up roads, get traffic flowing a lot quicker than we ever used to be able to. We can also map the inside of buildings. We can use it at outdoor crime scenes, indoor crime scenes. It's really used for a plethora of investigations. It's a tool that most other departments may not have their hands on just yet, and thanks to the Darien Foundation, we have that technology.
At Home in Darien is a nonprofit organization that helps senior citizens to remain living independently in their home and in the community. We provide important services to help them do so, such as transportation. Thanks to the Darien Foundation, we have this amazing new van, and we are so excited about it and what it'll do for the community.
From all standpoints, this is going to be a real improvement in the services we provide, both in terms of safety and comfort. The Darien Foundation is important to the community in the scope that they reach out to answer needs.
Post 53 is the town's ambulance service. We respond to over 1,600 emergency calls a year. We're a vital service that has been here for 51 years. The technology upgrades provided by the Darien Foundation has been a game changer for us. It's allowed us to improve our training. It has helped us hone our skills. You don't know how important an ambulance is until you actually need it. Thanks to our partnership with the Darien Foundation, who's provided all this technology and several grants throughout the years, we're able to continue to be prepared, to be well-trained and well-staffed, to respond 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, whenever you need it.
The Darien Foundation is really excited to be able to launch a new program for the Darien schools, which will benefit students K through 12 in all 7 schools. This is the new robotics program, which will be an extracurricular opportunity for students to build robots, compete against other leagues, and collaborate together.
Our robotics program is going to benefit students in so many ways. In regular classes, students are always looking for the right answer, that there's only one way to answer something. Robotics is completely different. In robotics, you learn that there are multiple solutions to every problem. You learn that you have these obstacles that you have to overcome. You have to really be a creative problem solver. And most importantly, you need to persevere.
Early on in the process, the Darien Foundation reached out to administration and they offered to provide funding for a project, and it just dovetailed beautifully to the goals of the strategic plan. I look forward to continue to work closely with the Darien Foundation, both on this project and other projects down the line.
We welcome ideas for possible grants. We'd like to do grants that promote and strengthen our community. Sometimes it's from an organization, sometimes it's from our emergency service partners, or it's from the Darien Public Schools. One of our most popular grants, which was the Playground by the Sound, came to us from 4 Darien moms who said, let's get together and figure out how to build this.
Thanks to the generosity of our board members and officers, every dollar you give to the Darien Foundation goes directly to the grants that we're supporting. I invite all of you to help us move our community further and support the Darien Foundation.
Celebrating and supporting Darien athletes,
That is a simple mission of the Darien Athletic Foundation. Broadcasting live from the field, DAF Media covers 125 games a year. All Darien teams, our youth, in our town, on our fields. Fields like the Center Oval and Upper Oval turfs, the JV softball field, and Stadium East, the longest turf in New England, all made possible by the Darien Athletic Foundation and its generous founders and donors.
Back on the DAF Media Network, Darien taking the field. They are fired up, 21-7. Greenwich leads Darien and waiting this second half. Braden Shank and Michael Mercine with you. So glad you can be with us on the DAF Media Network. And we're now going to take a look at the first half stats in this one, courtesy of our graphics team, Dalton Moss, Liam Tomaszewski. Pretty evenly matched first half. Possession time, the Cardinals a little bit up, and really just for the passing yards for Greenwich, 186 compared to the 106 for Darien. Yeah. And the first downs, I think, is really the big one, the 12-0. I wonder if we can get that back up from our crew to keep looking over that. But
yeah, I think there's something very important if you look at that. And the one thing you see is that they're very evenly matched as far as stats goes, right? The passing yards is about a difference of 60, but then there's also a difference about 40 rushing yards, right? And so, as far as stats goes, there's not that much difference in this team, other than those third downs. And what that tells you is that Greenwich is doing a very, very good job completing their drives, finishing their drives. Darien is having trouble. I mean, they got stopped on the goal line at the end. They got stopped at the goal line at the end, the last drive before halftime. And then also, Darien got stopped earlier, and they just need to finish drives.
We're now going to transition to our standings in this one. Big implications for Darien this afternoon. Looking to pick up points as you take a look at the Class L standings. Currently sit in 7th place based on the points system, so not necessarily the record. Darien's 4-2, but according to the points system and their strength of schedule, they're technically a 5-1 team, Michael Mercine.
Yeah, I mean, Darien has played a very hard schedule, and they're playing Greenwich, a very good team. They have the Turkey Bowl, where they play New Canaan, a very good team. They played St. Joe's. I mean, this is a very, very big, very stacked conference. And so, yeah, Darien hasn't played that many easy games out of conference either. And so, you know, playing Maloney, right? Big team out up there in conference. Apologies. But still, another really hard team. So Darien, typical powerhouse, has faced a lot of really hard teams. And so their schedule isn't really indicative of how they can play. And this ranking shows that.
So that's a great graphic from our crew. We're now going to get ready for the second half in this one between Darien and Greenwich, the Cardinals, to get the second half kick and looking to extend their lead. Darien not happy with the way that the first half ended. They had the goal line offense and just couldn't quite score.
I mean, yeah, this is as much as this game is about, you know, Darien's goal line defense and Greenwich's goal line offense. The opposite is also very important, right? Darien hasn't been like critically successful on the goal line, but they've been about average. And so it really just comes down to whether Darien can succeed at the goal line, can finish these long drives they've been having, because they have been playing really well, but they've just been falling short.
And some flashbacks to the Maloney game that Darien played where they were unable to convert in the red zone, even St. Joe's.
Yeah.
So some early struggles for Darien, and now they look to change fortunes as Trevor Herget will get us started in the second half. Darien trying to get rallied up. Not a fan has left here at Darien High School. Both teams are still in this.
Definitely.
Squib kick on it, fielded at the 20. There's Dixon. He's taking it across the middle. Charlie Dixon still up. And eventually being powered by Kare, and is taken down for a loss. But Dixon had the potential for a good rush and couldn't quite do so.
Yeah, and I mean, if you look at this here, a great example of just how Greenwich can play, because, you know, Dixon doesn't go down. He has 3 Darien defenders, and it takes him a long time to go down. And so, you know, Greenwich is going to come out of this half probably very aggressive. They're trying to strike while the iron's hot. And so, Darien, if you're Darien's defense, this is a critical moment in the game, because you have to determine whether or not you can slow their momentum and give your offense a chance to strike back.
So Greenwich taking over, Wilson and Co. Konigsberg will be to his left. Twin receivers on the play. And he's going to fake it again. Throws one over the middle to nobody. Interesting play there, and that one went right into the ground. I got to stop getting fooled out by that. As you see Jack Wilson's stats on your screen, 10 for 17, 186 yards. No passing touchdowns, but 2 rushing touchdowns to his name.
I mean, also 10 for 17, 186 yards. That's an average of 18.6 yards, right?
Good math.
I mean, 186 divided by 10, right?
What are you making math?
Yeah, something like that. But so, you know, it just goes to show that Greenwich has been very good, and I don't want to say lucky, but definitely very skilled with the deep ball. And, you know, Wilson's placed the ball in the hands of people who can make a difference.
Handing it off to Konigsberg. Konigsberg being pressured by McElhouse and taken down for a gain of 2.
And on the other side of that, Darien has done a pretty good job of stopping the run. I mean, off the top of my head, I haven't seen a run bigger than 6 to 8 yards, and so Darien has done a very good job of not going all in on stopping the pass.
3rd and 6 now for the Cardinals. 3rd down that they have been looking to convert on.
Third down 6.
And now here we go. Wilson throwing this one. It's up in the air. Deflected. Walgum can't get there.
I think it was Carter Hagan, but I can't be sure.
And you take another look at.
3 and out for the Cardinals.
And Darien will now force the punt unit.
Big, really, really big from Darien. I mean, to force not the 3 and out, but still, to force the near 3 and out, right? Very big, very good job from the Darien defense, and a important opportunity for Darien to make that halftime adjustment. I mean, speaking of adjustments, Darien started off the year not good in the second quarter, or second half, and now they've been very good.
Garlamo back, punt by the Cardinals. It was Dixon on the punt, not Earhart, so some changes week to week by the Cardinals. Earhart was the punter last week, and Dixon, the returner, gets it. And nonetheless, Darien will take over here for their first offensive drive.
Yeah, so I was alluding to it, but Darien has performed incredibly well in the second half these past few games, and it's very different from how they performed in the second half of the first few games, right? And so this is Darien's opportunity to show they are a team that has learned how to make halftime adjustments. They are a team that is disciplined, and so they're going to hopefully be able to strike and show exactly what they can do.
Wilson will take it now from Dahl. And the ball, I think Greenwich was, I'm not even sure what happened. Greenwich was celebrating something. I guess the ball was knocked away out of bounds. I wonder if we can take another look at it. Greenwich, oh, they did knock the ball loose, but I guess it rolled out of bounds.
Yeah, lucky ball placement from Darien there to get the ball out of bounds and, not lose their momentum that they have just gotten a little bit back with this third down kick.
So 2nd and 10 for the Wave now. Dahl and Wilson in the backfield, trips on the near side. Dahl going to go to the air game, throw this one to McGuckin, turns around, catches it, but being tackled by number 6, Von Volakis, for a short gain for the Wave, setting up 3rd down.
Yeah, I mean, Herget gets a lot of the press as the flashy receiver because he's been lights out as a receiver. But McGuckin has made these really, really nice and very difficult passes. He jumps really high, apparently, and so he's been able to make catches that I don't think a lot of these other receivers could make. And McGuckin has been a big game changer in this game.
0-6, Darien is on this 3rd down. Hands this one off to Wilson. Make it 0 for 7. There's actually Dahl. But 0 for 7, Darien is on those 3rd downs, and that is really a big differentiating factor in this one.
Yeah, interesting choice to go with the quarterback keeper. Unfortunately, he just couldn't get past Trimmer. It seems like Greenwich was expecting that.
So 4th and 2, Herget will now punt. Augusti will be back to return for the Cardinals.
Interesting choice for Darien to run the ball on 4th and 4 when they've been having success with the short passes.
Augusti's going to watch this one back and field it at the 15-yard line. He's running around. Eventually will be taken out. Coming out of nowhere is Carter Hagan for the tackle. There's actually 77, my apologies, James Tom. The 1 and the 7 look the same.
Something like that, yeah.
No. Nonetheless, good stop.
Also, yeah, great stop by Tom coming in very quickly. I mean, definitely don't want to be on the receiving end of a hit from him when he gets going.
You sure?
I'm pretty sure.
And the punts you see on your screen, 3 for Darien, 1 for Greenwich. Now Greenwich will take back over.
So now here comes the game of, momentum again, right?
It is indeed. We thought that first possession would be a big differentiating one if Greenwich could go up or not. Darien's kept the Cardinals at bay for the first 4 minutes. Not sure what that was.
Looks like a false start on the center. I believe it's snapped too early.
Wilson was not ready for that. He just got hit by the ball.
That was definitely a false start on the center. He just wasn't ready for that.
Or crazy theory. The center and the quarterback having some beef, just going to stick it to him, throw it back.
That'll
teach
I
you
think
a lesson.
that's definitely much more of a theory than anything else.
No, we're not going to start the conspiracy theories here?
No, not
All
yet.
right. Nonetheless, 1st and 15 for the Cardinals. Hands this one off to Konigsberg.
We can leave that one for the beat writers to figure out.
For the what?
For the beat writers to figure out.
I don't think that's their job, but okay.
Something like that.
I don't know what type of stories you're reading.
You never hear about quarterback, or not quarterback, you never hear about locker room controversy? Not that I think there's any going on here, but if there was, I think that's something for the beat writers to figure out.
I am so lost. 2nd and 17 for Greenwich. 5 receivers on the play. Wilson drops back, throws it to Walgum. It's complete. Right there to make the stop. Who else but the Bucknell commit, Mac McGarren.
Really good example of how good he is in coverage, too, right? I mean, you think these Darien linebackers have been really, really good on the blitz, but McGarren's right there coming with him in coverage, able to make the stop immediately and keep him to 4 yards where, you'd expect a blitzing linebacker to maybe miss that tackle or maybe not be in the right place and allow a few more yards.
So a good gain there from Walgum, and the Cardinals now on 3rd and 13, looking for something. In motion is Von Volakis. Wilson being pressured. He'll take it up the middle. And does he have it? Nope, he is short.
Great job by Wilson avoiding the pressure.
Really good heads-up play by Wilson. It looked like that was another sort of like screen or run option there. I'm not quite sure. However, Wilson completely avoided the player that had gone into motion. He saw his hole, and he took his chance, and unfortunately, he was only just 2 yards short.
So 4th and 2, the Cardinals will punt once again. Will be Dixon out to punt, not Earhart. But Garlamo's still back to return for the Wave. Charlie Dixon platooning as the team's punter. Drop kick, punts this one a long ways away. Garlamo will field it at the 40, muffs it! Ball is loose, and Schwind will pounce on it. Garlamo in disbelief, but Darien will recover that. Schwind in the right place at the right time.
I mean, that's why you run with 2 punt returners. Really, really nice heads-up play by Schwind. I mean, the entire gasp that the crowd had probably helped to get his attention, but Schwind fell right on that, and it looks like we have a player down.
Player down on it. And we're going to step aside as that's the punter, Dixon. We're going to step aside and be right back on the DAF Media Network.
Dixon walks off on his own accord. Looked like he could have just been cramping there, as I'm not seeing much limping or anything. And so now out comes the Greenwich defense.
Greenwich defense coming back out after the punt from Dixon. Dixon, the star receiver for this Greenwich team, going to be out with Adam. He again had the injury coming back today, as that one is handed off in the middle for a gain of a couple. And Darien looking to get the running game of Jake Wilson going. Not been able to do much so far this afternoon.
Not able to do much, but that was actually a pretty nice hole. It just happened to be that the Greenwich linebackers managed to sort of block the end. But, you know, he had a nice sort of, I almost want to say corridor to get those extra 4 yards, because he ran 3 yards before contact, and he still got another one after that.
30 yards for Wilson on the day. 1 touchdown to his name. Good day for Jake Wilson. Well, not his best day, actually. Let me refrain that. Wilson, throwing over the middle. Dahl completes it to Picorni. And that will be a first down on the Wave.
Really, really nice catch by Picorni. It's not easy to make a catch and hold on when you take a hit to the ribs like he just did. And he held on, didn't even have the ball tucked. It was just in his hands, and he brought it down for the first down.
So Brady Picorni, the lacrosse standout, picks up the first down for the Wave. A turning point for Darien right here. They trail by 14, can desperately use some points and get themselves back in this one, as Dahl and Wilson will be in the backfields. Twin receivers on the play. Wilson takes the handoff and taken down by Galetta. Griffin Galetta not fooled one bit.
No. Really good adjustment. Actually, an incredible adjustment by Wilson there. I mean, he saw that he had nowhere to go, no hole in sight, and he tried to get around the edge, and Galetta saw that and managed to bring him down by the shoulder.
So Darien's 2nd and 9 now. Looking to keep the chains moving on it. They have not scored since the first quarter, if I believe. And it was early in that first quarter, their second drive, to be exact.
And that's especially frustrating when you can taste the goal line so often, and you've gone a whole game without scoring.
Trips on the far side. Dahl and Wilson. Dahl takes it. He'll roll out to the far side. Dahl throws this one, and good catch by the Greenwich coaching staff. Not sure who that was. Might have been the offensive coordinator or somebody. Still a nice catch.
Yeah. Another, I mean, really just good heads-up play by Dahl to get the ball out, even when he has, he had people coming after him, and he got the ball out, no problem.
So 3rd and 9 for the Wave. Darien looking for their first conversion on 3rd down. 0 for 6 on the game so far. Dahl. He'll take it himself, rushing right up the middle. Fighting for the first down. Does he have it?
Looks like they're going to give it to him.
Yes, he does. First down, Simeon Dahl using the alertness, picking up the first down and some.
Really good block as well by number 77. When you see Tom there, he pushes off a tackle. I can't see exactly what it is, 20-something. But he actually seems to push off somebody who would have been able to pull Dahl back from the first down line. And so really heads up blocking by the offensive line, especially able to adjust on a pass play like that, because normally when you're pass blocking, you don't expect to have to run block, and really good play.
So Darien get a new set of downs on it. First and 10 for the twin receivers. Dahl looking. And incomplete. No flag thrown. Picorni was looking. It was McGuckin. And it's incomplete.
Really, really tight coverage there. I mean, both of them were sort of grabbing onto each other. It's kind of hard to assign a flag to each. And Picorni just couldn't come down with it there.
Couldn't indeed. And now it will be second. You see Simeon Dahl's passing game tonight, 180 yards, 15 for 26. Dahl is he had 200 yards last week, and in the last 2 games, he's actually had 200-plus yards. So a down game for Simeon, but looking to rebound on that. Dahl drops back, throws this one long ways, looking for Herget, turns around, and Herget isn't there for the third down for the Wave.
Looks like Herget was asking for a pass interference penalty there, but that ball was thrown probably about 10 yards past him, so it doesn't matter how much holding there is. Herget was never going to catch that ball.
Wasn't indeed. And it doesn't matter how athletic you are either.
Oh, no.
Trevor Herget can make a catch anywhere.
Yes, not only he can make a catch anywhere, but even he can't catch 10 yards in front of him.
Well, he could jump up like he does spike a volleyball.
Yeah, but I don't think he can jump 10 yards.
I've seen him get up high to spike a volleyball, man.
10 yards is 30 feet.
He could probably hurl. I'm going to stop talking about that.
All right. I think Olympic long jump is like 27 feet.
Oh, Jesus. Dahl looking downfield for Herget. Herget incomplete. I want to take you back to that last point. How do you know that?
Off the top of my head. I don't know. I just remember. But, another... You see, this is what we saw in the first drive of the first half, actually, is Darien just getting close to the goal line, and you see Dahl wanting to the end zone, and by all means, he has the opportunities, right? Very long. You have receivers that are open downfield, but Dahl's just been throwing it a little bit too far. Receivers have just been a little slow, and the timing is off. And so that's where Darien needs to try to correct itself if it wants to stay in this game.
It's a good point right there, and Darien now finding themselves down 4th and 10, looking to get some yards here. And we are going to see a timeout taken. Timeout against the Wave. So we're going to step aside on the DAF Media Network, a joint venture of the Darien Athletic Foundation and the Darien Foundation, and we'll be right back. Back on the DAF Media Network, coming out of the timeout, Darien faced with the 4th and 10. Looking to keep the chains moving in a big drive for the Wave. Dahl drops back. Throws this one to the near side, turning around is McMullen. He's got the catch. Maneuvers his way. He's in the 20. McMullen brings him in the red zone.
Great play by McMullen. I mean, that's just one of the things, he's a little guy, but he is fast, and he can make people miss, and he shows that there. I mean,
Isaac McMullen with the big catch. Past the defender, Vambalakis.
And also, Vambalakis not known to necessarily miss tackles. I spoke to some of the players. They're telling me Vambalakis is one of those players to watch. And so
Dahl,
he managed to get past him.
He's being pressured. Galetta will take him down at the line of scrimmage. Griffin Galetta adding another to his name.
Looks like we're going to have a player down on Greenwich holding his ankle, though, so we might have to take an injury timeout.
So the trainers will come over and assist the Greenwich O-lineman or D-lineman down. You're watching the DAF Media Network. Braden Shank, Michael Mercine with you. So glad you can be with us. We're going to step aside for a second and be right back with more of this third quarter between Darien and Greenwich. Trips right on the play. Darien returning after the injury timeout. Dull drops back. Throws this one over the middle. Caught to Herget. Herget will take it inside the 10, eventually being taken down by Nsinga. And then Singa takes Herget down. He's a little slow to get up. That's not good.
Yeah, he looks to be in a lot of pain.
And we will see another injury timeout on it. Herget, I don't think took it the right way, and that's not what you like to see if you're Darien.
No, absolutely not. I mean, especially when, I mean, you don't want to see anybody injured, but especially when it's your star player, right? You know, Herget's not only been really, I mean, not only has he been the star of this team, but he's also been, you know, sort of the life in this team. You know, he's in Wilton, he helped bring the team back basically from the jaws of defeat, and so if Herget is out for whatever it is and whatever his injury is, it could potentially be a huge loss to the team, not only in skill, but also in morale.
It is indeed, and you look at Trevor Herget's journey this year. Started just as a defensive player. Team lost to St. Joe's. They beat Bridgeport. Played his first two-way game against Maloney. They still lost, but he's led them to 3 straight victories on the road. Fairfield Ward, Fairfield Ludlow, and Wilton. And you mentioned that Wilton game. He had that huge catch bringing him down to the 2-yard line late in that game for the win. So Herget's a key player for this Darien team, and it's not what you like to see that he is slow to get up. And it just shows you the brutal tolls that this game takes on you. Both of these teams seeing a lot of players go down. And yeah, we're going to step aside here, and when we return, we'll have more football. Hopefully Trevor is okay. He's actually helped up. But we're going to step aside and be right back. Back on the DAF Media Network, 3rd and 2 for Darien. They're looking for a big conversion here in the red zone. 1 for 8 to be exact. Dahl throws this one, and it is caught, and he's at the 1. They're spotting McMullen.
Reception by Isaac McMullen.
So McMullen catches it, but just short. But Darien will get the new set of downs on it, which is good.
Yeah, I mean, now Darien gets a redo on redo the last drive of last quarter, and this time they have all the time to finish the drive. That's what I'm talking about, finishing drives. And
so they're not going to run out like they did in the first half, but they definitely need to convert.
I mean, I don't think they could do 4 downs in however many minutes are left, 15.
Oh, hand off to Wilson. Jake goes up the middle. It's actually Dole. Fools me
Great
out.
take.
Simeon Dole with the touchdown, the QB keeper. And myself and the Greenwich defense absolutely fooled by it, as Dahl was untouched into the end zone.
I mean, great play by Dahl, and a great job for him to hide the ball. And, with that scary injury from Greenwich, or from on Trevor Herget, it's nice to see some life in the sideline. People are jumping around. People are getting going. Because now it's just a one. If the field goal goes in, it'll be just a 1-possession game.
Simeon Dahl taking that in the end zone. And now Tucker Stevens will be on for the PAT to put Darien back in striking distance in this one. The kick is up. It is good. 21-14, the big play, capping off a great drive for the Wave. And that's exactly what Darien needed, that momentum. And there's life on this Darien team.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you've got people moving on the sidelines, moving fast though, I always feel like a good metric for how excited a team is how fast they move on the sidelines, because a team that wants to, a team that feels ready to run, they're always amped, they're always going, and there's a lot of life on the sideline now.
There is indeed. 21-14 Darien, and you take a look at the drive summary on that one. 10 plays, 54 yards, 348 the time on that one. So a quick, effective drive for the Wave.
Yeah.
And that all of a sudden puts them down by 7 in this one.
Also, they did a really good job converting on 3rd down, which they haven't been doing. And so, really big adjustment from Darien, especially after the 3-and-out coming out of the second half. You always get worried when you see more of the same mistakes directly after coming out of the half. But they actually managed to make some of those mistakes on the first drive, but then actually come back and make a very crucial adjustment now.
Yes, indeed, and that was something that Darien struggled on in this one, converting on those third downs, missed their first 6. And now here's McMullen on the kickoff. Kicks this one off, fielded, and that one's fumbled, but Auguste will pounce on it and eventually corral it at the 16-yard line, but chaos for the Cardinals.
Yeah, definitely a scary moment if you're Auguste, specifically with Kare bearing down on you. I mean, you looked like he wanted that ball, but Auguste managed to wrap himself around it before Kare could even get there.
So Darien, they are trailing by 7. You see the cheerleaders, the packed house here at Darien High School. Good crowd on this Saturday in week 8 of the season. Both of these teams only 3 games left down the stretch, so it's really coming home here, the 2022 football season.
Oh yeah, absolutely. This is crunch time when it comes to the playoffs, and Darien knows that, with 2 really difficult games coming up, they need to win.
Wilson now, he's going to take it himself, forced to rush. Wilson's still up, and eventually will be stopped in his tracks. McGarren and Brennan, the one stopping him.
I mean, Darien continues to be vigilant against the run, And Greenwich, I don't know what the deal is with Greenwich. I haven't seen a lot of passes coming out of the half. It seems like they've been moving. It seems like they've been sticking to the run game, and so Greenwich playing into Darien's strengths here, and Darien's profiting from that.
They are indeed, and Greenwich, a team, you see Wilson's passing stats right there. He's having a nice day, but Greenwich, a team that historically has fallen off in the second half this year. Von Balakis takes it, stopped immediately. That's number 11, J.D. Brennan. You take another look at it. Brennan breaking through that line, getting the legs of Von Balakis. And this will now set up 3rd in a while for the Cardinals.
That was a really critical missed block by DeLuca there. DeLuca was sort of running by Brennan just as he came in, and DeLuca taps him on the back shoulder as if to try to sort of push him over. But DeLuca couldn't make that block, and Brennan was able to make a really big stop in the backfield.
3rd and 7 for the Cardinals. Looking to convert. They are 2 for 7, 28% on that. Our graphics and stats team bringing you that one. Dalton Moss, Liam Tomaszewski doing a great job. But they're looking to convert on it. Here's Wilson dropping back. Throws this one over the middle. And it is caught. Number 10, Stefanovic makes the catch. Stefanovic, his first grab of the afternoon. And that's a first down for the Cardinals.
Yeah, really good catch right out of, it's one of those things that Schwind is kicking himself there because his hands were right there, but his timing was off just a little bit. And so, Stefanovic just managed to come away with that ball, but that was a really close coverage.
4 receivers on the far side. Wilson fakes the handoff. Screen pass to Walgum. Walgum, he is tackled for a loss, or tackled for a small gain, rather. Screen for the Cardinals, and the third quarter clock ticking away. Darien is not out of this game by any means. They just need to make some stops here and stop this Greenwich offense.
Ball on the 34-yard line.
2nd and 7 now for the Cardinals. And movement is DeLuca, moving to a new tight end position. Fakes the handoff, throws this one to Walgum. Walgum still up. He's across the 50, tripped up by Schwind. Not before he takes it across the 50.
Yeah, that was a tough miss block by Gerlamo. Gerlamo had the opportunity to stop him there, potentially just before the line to gain, and unfortunately, Greenwich got 10 more yards out of that.
Walgum picks up the first down for the Cardinals. They're now across the 50, looking to keep the offense going. 18 seconds left before the end of the third quarter, and Greenwich is, I think, just going to let the clock tick out and regroup starting in the fourth quarter.
I don't believe they can, unless they're planning on taking delay a game.
Oh, that's a good point. And no, off by 1. Nonetheless, that will take us to the end of the third quarter. Greenwich leads Darien 21-14 on the DAF Media Network. And going to come back up to us here in the booth. Michael, 3 quarters in, Darien, they're only down by 7. What went wrong for the Cardinals in that third quarter, allowing Darien to come back?
Well, the Cardinals just showed that they're struggling against Darien's pass. And so the Cardinals cannot, allow Darien to get their passing game going. They hadn't had it going previously in the game. But, we've seen glimpses of Darien. We've seen glimpses of Darien getting really good with the pass, having these deep balls. I mean, you saw McMullen with a really nice juke. You saw, Herget with a really nice deep ball. And so what's happening is Darien is doing well in the pass, and the Greenwich defense needs to adjust to that.
They do indeed. 21-14, Greenwich leads. We'll see what Darien does. 21-14, the Cardinals lead. We're now going to send you down to Cam McGraw and his takes on the sideline.
Hey guys, homecoming week here at Darien High School. You can see our student section still being represented, coming down into this fourth quarter with 12 minutes left, hoping for a comeback. Darien down 21-14 to Greenwich. Back to you.
Thanks, Cam, and Greenwich will start on the offense on the 47-yard line. Wilson and Konigsberg in the backfields. Drops back is Wilson, being pressured, throws this one to Dixon. Over his head, good defense by Schwinn. So Charlie Dixon back out after his injury, and he can't hail that one in.
Putting on the pressure. Pass falls incomplete.
Speaking of injury news, just on the sideline as well, seems like Herget is still up, moving around. I saw him on the bike, and he's stretching out, and it looks like he's going to be ready to go for this next quarter.
And that's exactly the spark player that Darien needs, especially only trailing by a touchdown to Greenwich.
Yeah.
This is a one-possession game. All Darien needs to do, get on a run, get a nice scoring drive together. They've had some of them today.
Remember, against Wilton, Herget also had a very scary injury and came back in the next drive. And
he did indeed. Wilson over the middle, caught by incomplete by Whalegum. He couldn't haul it in. That is a good point. Herget it looked like knocked out cold in the end zone of that Wilson game.
Absolutely.
Came back up. The heroic player stepped up against the Warriors. So maybe a little bit of a revival of that game. But this is the fourth quarter. It's go time for Darien. They trail. And there's Greenwich again, 2 for 7 on their conversions on third down.
Third down, 10.
And they are looking to keep this drive alive, force their hand. The Cardinals' offense has not been able to do anything in this second half.
They've been struggling with. They haven't been throwing the deep ball, which has been surprising. They've thrown it once or
Wilson
twice.
with the blitz on, throws this one, intercepted by Schwinn. James Schwinn with it. He's gonna take it across the 50. Schwinn is still up, and he will take it to the 36. Flag on the play. A Greenwich player down. There is a flag on the play.
It looks like the flag's in the backfield. Is that roughing the passer? Looks to be like this ball might be coming back.
Roughing the passer.
Roughing the passer called. So roughing the passer against the Wave.
Roughing the passer call will nullify the interception and return.
And just like that, the interception is off the board.
That's got to deflate your Darien defense, and especially when you have such a big opportunity to change the game around. I mean, with only 12 minutes, with only the last quarter going, right? It was Darien's opportunity to sort of move momentum, and just a tough roughing the passer call. And
I don't understand on that is that's one of those penalties that kind of happens after the play necessarily, and it's a devastation for the Wave on that one. That one is now going to get first down to the Cardinals. But the play was already thrown. The pass was thrown, and then the roughing and passing occurred as there's Dixon who catches the pass.
Dixon with the reception on the far sideline.
And I feel like I got to point it out to the viewers at home, Michael Mercine, what just happened up here in our press box.
I appear to have gotten my headphone wire stuck into my jacket, and as I was walking away from the headphones, I almost accidentally pulled the whole unit off the desk. But we're going well now, and hopefully we can get another view of that roughing the passer call soon.
It was so important. You almost took the mixer with you.
Oh yeah.
Catch by Dixon sets up 2nd and 3 for the Cardinals. See, if that did fall, I was going to have our crew take a replay of it. Of you being an idiot on
there
it.
We go.
Making that as you see it. Oh.
It's kind of hard to get it, but
throws this one. Whalegum makes the catch.
Whalegum with the catch.
First down.
Yeah, from what we see on that replay, I'm not really sure about where the roughing the passer calls. Of course, we don't see how that tackle ends, but it looked like the defender was coming in very fast, and he looked like he was about to hit the quarterback incredibly hard. So it could potentially be that he was coming in so fast, and he hit the quarterback so hard that they had to throw the flag.
So 3rd and 10 for the Cardinals. 10:15 left to play. Handing this one off. Vamvalakis has room. Vamvalakis, spin tackle, he's still up. Touchdown Cardinals! George Vamvalakis with the rushing touchdown. And the 20-yard rush gives the Cardinals the momentum again. George Vamvalakis.
Yeah, it's got to be a heartbreaker for Darien, especially when you have that. Oh, it looks like there's a penalty thrown here. Unsure what for. But, yeah, that's a heartbreaker for Darien. You know, to have the opportunity to turn the game around like that and now to be down by 2 scores again is huge.
Unsportsmanlike conduct on the Wave. You got to assume some Darien players not happy that the interception from Schwind called back, and Vamvalakis comes all the way down to score. Darien will bring a extra player out on this attempt. Will be number 60 for the Wave, but Darien has, or Greenwich now has themselves a 13-point lead pending the PAT from Boone. Devastation for the Wave.
Yeah.
Kick from Boone is up, and it is a beauty. 28-14, but take me through the mind of a Darien player, Michael Racine. You have the James Schwind interception, potentially sets you up in the red zone. The referee calls it back, and then a couple plays by the Cardinals put them up by 14.
I mean, it's hard to put you into that mindset because, you know, it's to have a comeback so possible, so tangible, and to have it ripped away. Not that Darien is out of this game by any means. There's still a lot of time left on that board. But to have a comeback so close and to have that ripped away can really hurt. And, you know, if you're Darien, you feel like you've played well. Darien has played incredibly well. They've gotten into the red zone a lot more than the box score tells you, at least. And they've had some very close calls, a very close call at the end zone there to end the game. And so it's got to be you just have to be frustrated if you're Darien.
12 plays, a long time on the drive, and that's how the Cardinals score on it, as Boone will get some yards on the kickoff, which I'm not sure how much that really helps the Cardinals, considering Boone's now got to take a little off it.
Yeah, definitely an interesting choice to kick from there.
Well, they did get the unsportsmanlike conduct yard, so here's Boone. He's going to have to take a little off this one, or he can just soar that one. Oh, off the crossbar. Like I said, I feel like that's one of those penalties that it doesn't really go against the team that it's committed on, the unsportsmanlike conduct. It's applied to the kickoff, but you're just making the other team's job harder.
Yeah, I get it. It does prevent the return, which, I mean, because now you can easily get a touchback, but yeah, it is a little. It does make it really impossible to sort of pin them back at 5 or 10 hopefully with a good defense.
And now Darien's offense will trot back out, trailing by 14, looking for some fourth quarter heroics. Dahl throws this one, caught by Picorni for a couple yards.
So, yeah, the one thing I will say is that there's zero reason to count Darien out. I mean, they're quiet on the sideline. It's quiet on the entire sideline. However, remember, this Darien team is very explosive, and there was a lot of scoring at the end of that Wilton game.
Trips on the far side. Dahl over the middle, and to nobody. One hop bounce up. And some miscommunication on the Wave side right there.
Yeah.
Darien trailing by 14 to Greenwich. Braden Shank, Michael Mercine with you. So glad you can be with us on the DAF Media Network here in the late parts of the fourth quarter.
Notably, Herget's back in again, so hopefully we'll see some more explosive plays from the Darien offense.
Time of possession dominated by the Cardinals in this one. Dahl over the middle, and Picorni reels it in. Brady Picorni with the nice catch.
This is what you want if you're Darien, because Darien is very good at building passing momentum. And so, these short passes, there's 9 minutes, there's no reason to rush. So if Darien stays disciplined and keeps going in the air, keeps abusing Greenwich's weakness, then Darien can hopefully win this game. Or at least tighten the lead.
Picorni fighting through the coverage on it, catches the ball, and now it's trips on the far side for Dahl. Simeon going to roll to the far side. Short pass, caught by Picorni. Brady's got some room. He's tripped up, but we'll take it to the 50-yard line. First down for the Wave.
First down, good for 15 yards. Makes it to midfield.
And Picorni landed on McGuckin, and he comes out limping. He looks hurt.
So Will Johnson will come back on, the senior. first down specialist for the Wave, as it will be Wilson and Dahl in the backfields. Dahl being pressured. He's going to roll again to that far side. Galetta's tracking him down. Pass over the middle and deflected away. Was looking to his intended receiver of Picorni. And instead, this will now set up 2nd and 10. Brady Picorni, 4 receptions for 34 yards. That's a good day for Brady.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And that's averaging a lot of yards per pass. And the other thing that's important, and you saw that with Picorni, is Darien can really rely on their receivers. Darien has fast receivers. Darien has nimble receivers, right? Darien's receivers are very good after the catch, and so if Darien sticks with a short pass, they're going to succeed here.
Dahl. That one is caught by Will Johnson. Weege making the big catch. His 7th on the season.
A really nice catch, just textbook.
And this one now set up 3rd and 3 for Darien. Pretty sure our graphics wrong on that one. Michael, would you take that guess?
What's that? 2 for 10 on the on 3rd down. Oh, 3rd and 60. Yeah, absolutely. I don't think you can even. There's not even 60 yards on the field.
Dahl looking downfield, looking for Herget. And flag is thrown. That will be pass interference on Nsinga. So the 3rd and 60 pays off for the Wave.
Oh, absolutely. And with that automatic first down, they're going to be able to, that's something that brings life back into this game, especially when it's a penalty, because now Darien had a big play taken away from them by a penalty, and now instead a lot of yards granted by a penalty, and so to see that it sort of gets you back in the game. It feels like maybe not all of luck is against you right now.
First down after the pass interference against the Cardinals. Darien will now get the ball on the 27-yard line, just outside the red zone, but looking for some offense. Wilson's out on the sideline being checked out by a trainer, so Darien will go 5 receivers on the play, and Liam McBride is now checked into play. Simeon Dahl looking. Picorni hauls it in.
A really pretty catch by Picorni. I mean,
putting his body on the line, Brady Picorni makes the catch.
Darien has an incredibly talented receiver corps, and they have not had the chance to shine. And especially a talented receiver corps made up with Picorni and McGuckin, who are both juniors. And so a team that has worked together and has had time to work together, and now they're really starting to click.
So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Wave. Wilson back out on the field. Dahl looking for the end zone, looking for Herget, and he catches it, but I'm going to say that one's a little far.
A little bit. I don't know if the track is still part of the end zone, but again, a really good throw and a really good showing by Herget. I mean, he's wide open. Number 1, Peccadano just cannot get onto him, and Herget can't bring it in because it's too far out, but a really nice attempt.
So this will set up 2nd and 10 for the Wave on the 17-yard line. Liam McBride's still out there, and he's actually playing the rushing position as Wilson's still being checked out by the trainer. So Dahl will drop back. He'll take it himself, rush it right up the middle. He's got some room. Simeon's still up. Dahl being pushed around, but he will fight his way to the 5.
I mean, what more do you want out of a quarterback? I said running back. You see, look at him. He looks like a running back. He's staying up. He's fighting for every yard. His feet are moving. That is a really good run, and that shows you exactly what Simeon could do, because he can tear you up down the field. He's throwing short pass. He's playing really well. He's playing to his offensive strength, but he can still run. You always have to be nervous, and Greenwich forgot to be nervous there, and they got burned for it.
1st and goal for the Wave on the 5. Dahl going to the corner of the end zone. Herget can't get there. Incomplete.
Almost looked like Picorni was the intended receiver there, but he was being held by number 38, Avardes, and unfortunately, Herget tried to get there and he just couldn't.
So 2nd and 5. You see Herget's stats today: 15 receptions for 106 yards. Don't think our crew's doing the math back there, but that's a lot averaging per catch.
Oh, absolutely. And it's a lot. Notably, it's less than Greenwich, and yet they're really close for making this a 1-point game.
Here's Dahl scrambling with it, throws it, bullet pass. Who gets there? Touchdown Wave!
What a throw and catch! I mean, what more do you want out of Dahl to Herget? That's what we've been talking about this all season. First of all, crossbody throw by Dahl. Second of all, beautiful catch by Herget. Manages to get his leg down. I mean, what more could you want? Dahl's throwing in a position where he's uncomfortable and has defenders bearing down at him, and Herget just makes a beautiful catch and comes down for a score with 6 minutes left.
Touchdown, Trevor Herget, and Anson Sikora will be on for the PAT now.
We do have a player down as well on the on Greenwich. It seems to be unsure, but.
And this is not good for Greenwich. Trainers will come out, but a good catch from Herget, 28-20. Darien still has some life in this game, but their job's not done yet. They do still need to kick it off to Greenwich and play the defense. As you see head coach Anthony Morello in his 3rd season, the beret, his signature look.
I love it. I think it looks like the red beret. I mean, it's very. I mean, it screams Cardinals. You know.
Do you know what he reminds me a lot of?
Who's he reminding you of?
Bryson DeChambeau stepping on the first tee box.
Yeah,
US
with the beret,
Open,
with the vest. I got that.
Coming over the big long drive. I think Anthony Morelli's probably got a good long drive to him.
Oh, I can imagine.
Well, he's a great football coach out there, taking over for John Marinelli, now at UConn. But here's Sikora on the PAT. Good snap, good hold. Sikora, it's blocked. Big stop for the Cardinals.
I mean, I think big might be an understatement, right? Well, it's not. That doesn't make it a 2-possession game, of course. It forces Darien to go for 2 if they end up scoring here again. And so, you know, not that I'd count Darien out for when it comes to 2-point conversions, but they struggled a little bit against Wilton, and you know, this is going to be an uphill battle for Darien to try to stop Greenwich and then potentially score with 6.5 minutes left in this game.
So Greenwich, they're going to huddle their special teams up. A big kick coming from the wave. You got to assume. Would you be onside kicking here with 6:42 left to play?
No.
No. You trust the defense?
Yeah, I think. I mean, because you have two things. Greenwich is a passing offense, and Darien has been playing very well against the run. So Greenwich has 2 choices. Greenwich can either try to pass and extend these drives, which it doesn't know. Obviously, passes aren't really going to take off as much time as runs, or they can try to run, but that's really going to risk playing against Darien's strength and actually taking a lot of time off the clock. And so Greenwich is in a tough position here, and if you're Darien, you're pretty confident you can stop them within 6 minutes.
That is a good point, but you are putting a lot of trust in your defense right here.
Absolutely.
Because a touchdown from the Cardinals, this game I think would just about be over.
Oh, of course, but you know you can't ever count out your defense, and Darien's defense. I mean, to hold Greenwich to 28 points so far this game. You know, we said they average 45 points a game, and this is an explosive Greenwich offense, and they've looked explosive at times, but not much in the second half.
There's the kickoff, the short kick. Looking for the touch. Flag is thrown. I don't think that one went 10.
It looks like it went 10.
Well, head coach Mike Forget is questioning it. He's not 100% sure. We'll see what it is. No flag. They're pulling it back.
And unfortunately, because I mean, if we can see that again, I believe Darien picked that ball up. I don't know if they're going to have to re-kick because the whistle was blown early.
It's an interesting, because you are right, they couldn't technically recover it. No one's really sure what's going on, but I think Darien's going to re-kick.
Yeah. Unfortunate because Darien had their hands on the ball, and so if there's no penalty and the play was blown dead early, that's a really big bummer because that was Darien's chance to turn the game around again.
Head coach Morello is going to have a word with our referee this afternoon, trying to figure it out. They know what Darien's going to do, but they now need to come out and...
The consensus is that the official did not blow the whistle to begin play.
So they did not blow the whistle to begin play. So Darien will get a second chance.
Well, there you go.
Lucky break for the Wave, and they're not going to try again, but Greenwich knows what their strategy is.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at how McMullen's standing, the formation looks a little bit different. If I were Darien, I wouldn't go for the onside kick here. I'd try to kick it deep and see what we can do.
So we are still waiting word from McMullen now. He'll do a kick on it. Fielded. And this one knocked down. Big hit from number 39 of the Wave. Don't have it in front of me, but...
Number 39.
We'll find it.
Does not seem to be on our rosters at the moment.
It's not organized. That's what it is.
It's
user error.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, you made the roster, so you're the user, right?
What?
You made the roster, so I believe you'd be the user there, wouldn't you?
Oh, you just threw me under the bus, didn't you?
Oh, I did, absolutely. I mean, you threw me under the bus throughout this season. I think we're equal on the buses, though, you know? But anyway, so Darien's defense is coming out. Very important, very, very important drive, obviously, here. And Greenwich has to make a decision. Do they play into their own strengths and not run out the clock, or do they play into Darien's strengths and try to get these first downs on the ground?
So Wilson and Königsberg in the backfield. It's actually Von Volakis in the backfield. He's taken out almost immediately by Reeser and Brennan.
I mean, that's what you want. Watch Reeser come up. He's very good at just timing the snap and getting right around the corner. He came up unblocked. He knew that run was coming, and just because he was able to jump the snap and get moving before the play started, he was able to get there and make the stop.
This now sets up 2nd and 8 for the, or 2nd and 12 for the Cardinals, actually going the other way on it. Wilson and Von Volakis will be in the backfield, but they will get the twin receivers on the play. Wilson,
not surprised,
over the middle to Whalegum. He makes a nice spin move, still up, eventually taken down, setting up a big 3rd down for the Cards.
I mean, this is definitely a very big 3rd down. Greenwich seems to be doing relatively well on 3rd and short. They haven't done many short passes here, so it's a weird distance because Greenwich has thrown, most of their throws have been, 10 yards or more just about, right? And their runs have been about 5 yards or less. And when they're sitting here on 3rd and 7, you're in a weird position.
Well, indeed. 4 for 9 is what the Cardinals are on 3rd downs. Wilson, he's going to drop back. Throw it to the side, looking downfield for DeLuca. He can't get there. No flag. Great defense by Robert McElhose. The hose,
you got to send the
they
punt
call
team out here. Yeah, oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, great pressure by McElhose to get DeLuca to trip, and not a great throw. And here comes the punt team. That was a huge 3 and out. And as I said, only 10 minutes or only a minute gone, because Greenwich had to rely on the pass. They knew they weren't going to win with the run.
So Darien going to figure out their strategy. Herget will be back to return. Our graphic not quite right, and then Earhart's going to be punting. So Dixon was doing the punting this afternoon, but Earhart's going to get his turn.
They seem to be alternating. I wonder why that is.
The punt from Earhart. It's up. Herget's going to let it bounce, and the Cardinals are going to watch it to the 35. So here is a big opportunity for the Wave, trailing 8. They need the touchdown and the 2 points, and they have 5 minutes and 7 seconds to do so.
Take over on the 32-yard line. First down, 10.
So they're on the 32. They have 5 minutes and 7 seconds to get, let's see if I can do my math, to get 68 yards. And not only to get 68 yards, but to convert on a 2-point conversion if they do score.
They do indeed, and like I said, Darien can take their time on it. They're in no rush right now.
Even if they're in a rush, they've proved incredibly effective with a 2-minute drill.
This one over the middle, caught by McMullen. He gets out of bounds. Good first play for the Wave.
I think it's smart for Darien to play this like it's a 2-minute drill, excluding the timeouts, because the thing is that it's never going to be a guarantee of, or you're never going to have that guarantee that you're going to convert on the 2 points.
He's being pressured. Still up with it. Short pass. It's caught by McGuckin. Briggs has some room. Across the 30. McGuckin powering his way down to the 20. And Darien's in the red zone.
That's the explosive offense that Darien has shown in the 4th quarter so often, right? I mean, McGuckin, Herget, doesn't matter. And also, you see Dahl, he's able to get out of the pocket. He gets close to the line of scrimmage, but he doesn't cross. He makes a beautiful pass, and that was a really, really well done play by Darien.
Greenwich player coming off on it, but Darien has some life in them. They're in the red zone today looking to potentially get some points. 1st and 10 for the Wave on the 20-yard line. Johnson will come back out.
First down, 10.
Darien will take back over on the 20-yard line. Trips on the twin receivers on the play. Dahl and Loden in the shotgun. He drops back. Throws this one off of Herget. And that one just went right through his hands.
Yeah, that was a bullet, and I just don't think Herget was ready for that one. I mean, it's rare that you see a Herget drop a pass like that because it was right in his hands, but I mean, I can't blame him. That pass was really fast.
It was indeed, and I've seen his pitches on the wiffle ball field. I mean, they go fast.
Who,
Then you
Dahl?
come out here. Oh, yeah. Then you come out here, throw that bull over a line drive. It's a tough ball to catch.
Oh, yeah.
Just went right through Herget's hands.
Did you ever step in the box against Dahl?
Yeah, did get a hit, but Sylvia Dahl now on the far side with it. He's going to rush it, pick up a gain of 1 or 2, giving Darien the 3rd and 10 now.
Interesting choice to sort of. I mean, I you always want to keep them guessing on the ground, and it seems like I didn't see Wilson back in there, so it makes sense to give the ball to Dahl to try to run it up, but we'll see what's going.
3rd and 11. Darien fired up.
Yeah.
They need a big conversion here, and Greenwich needs the stop. Dahl throws this one. McMullen turns around, makes the catch. He is short, though, and it will be 4th and a little for the Wave. And you came all this way, you might as well leave the offense on the field.
Oh, absolutely. There's no. I mean, Darien leaves it all on the field, and that includes the offense, right? And so, pretty short. 3rd and I believe it's 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5. Darien's been succeeding. Darien's been succeeding with the short pass. This is where you want to be.
4th and 4, they don't get the offense jumping off, and now a timeout will be called by Darien. They're going to talk over some things as McMullen picked up his catch on that one. But it's a big decision for Darien right here. 3:47. You don't know if you're going to get the ball again.
Yeah.
So
that, especially with that timeout.
It is indeed, and this is now puts Darien down to only 1 timeout left in this second half. So this is going to be big, whatever Darien does right here. You can see the crowd still sticking it out here at Darien High School here in southwestern Connecticut. Braden Shank, Michael Mercine with you. So glad you can be with us. Ken McGraw on the sideline. And 4th and 4 about to ensue from the Darien Blue Wave.
I mean, Coach Forget here is making an interesting choice. I mean, not only call timeout, because you obviously want to make sure your play call's right. But now he has to rely on Darien to make 2 big plays. To make this play, which is incredibly important, obviously, because they don't make it, Greenwich gets the ball, and they haven't tied the game. But also, the 2-point conversion that they're going to have to go for. Same thing. If they don't make that, Greenwich is going to get the ball with the lead.
Here we go, 4th and 4. Trips on the near side. Herget, McGuckin, and Picorni. Flag is thrown. They're going to call the false start on McMullen. McMullen jumped a little early, and it is going to be the false start against Isaac McMullen. You can see he jumped a tad bit early, and by the nearest of seconds, Darien will be pushed back 5 yards.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to change the landscape of this play, obviously, especially because they just went out and talked about it. But, Darien's good with yards after the catch, and I think the short pass could still potentially be very important here.
Dahl throws this one, looking for the end zone, and Picorni's not there. That will be a turnover on down, giving the ball right back to Greenwich. Big stop for the Cardinals.
Yeah.
And as you mentioned, that pushing back of 5 yards put Darien in an unlikely situation. They had to go for it all, and Picorni couldn't come up with it. And now you're relying on the defense again.
Yeah, I mean, I completely understand everything about going for it there, and because here's the thing: you have 3 minutes 40, and the last drive that Greenwich had, you got a 3 and out in a minute. Darien's been incredibly good with the 2-minute drill, and especially now that they're pushed back to their own 20, you could have risked taking the points with the field goal and then leaving yourself just a touchdown and not having to go for it. But interesting choice, and now Darien has to make the stop here.
Handing this one off to Von Velakis. And a gain of 1 for it. So 2nd and 9, Barber makes the stop. Greenwich, they're going to go to the running game with Von Velakis.
Yeah.
Not much Darien can do with only 1 timeout to their names.
Yeah, and again, that's good for Darien to some extent. I mean, you obviously don't want to lose time, but Darien's been lights out against the run. And so Greenwich has to run. They know that. And Darien is now getting to do what they do best and stop the run.
So 2nd and 9 for the Cardinals. Under 3 minutes. They're taking all the time they want. Handing this one off to Konigsberg now. Konigsberg will power for a gain of 2 or 3. Still up in the scrum. Darien's got to take him down. So you got to assume that this is going to take us down to about 2 minutes on the clock.
Yep. This is a big third down. Because you're not going to go for it here if you're Greenwich, right?
No, you can't
go for it on fourth down.
So you got to assume another about, we'll call it 80 seconds or so will tick off if Darien can make the stop right here.
Yeah, so that's another. I mean, that gets you down to somewhere near the 1 minute mark if Darien makes a stop. But we'll see where we get there. It's not going to have ourselves, you know.
So Greenwich is going to regroup, 5 on the play clock. Timeout will be taken by head coach Anthony Morello and the Cardinals. What do you think the purpose of that timeout is, Michael Mercine?
Run the clock out. I don't think they really ever had any intention of running a play there. You want to run the clock out. You want to potentially try to catch Darien off sides, and they call that timeout. They get to plan something tricky. You know, Coach Morello gets to go really deep into his playbook, maybe rummage around somewhere and find a page that has fallen out, something that they haven't used in a while, something that Darien hasn't seen, to try to trick them up and get a first down here.
So Darien, they're huddling up right here. 2:05 left to play. The Wave trailing 8 to the Cardinals. And this game is not over yet because Greenwich needs that first down to keep the clock moving. Because a stop here, and then Greenwich punts it, say, Darien's got a chance with about the ball at the 40-yard line or so, 50-yard line.
Yeah, Darien's a fast offense, you know. And I said of the keys to the game, right? Darien has to play fast. You know, you're getting in the late hours of the game, and Greenwich has been out here some of these players have been out here the whole game, right? And so they're getting tired. They've taken a lot of hits. Both teams have taken some injuries. I don't know if anybody's actually been out of the game. The only one I haven't seen go back in is Wilson. But both teams have been banged up at the very least. And Greenwich has been out there just more than Darien. And so here you got to rely on being less tired and hopefully making the stop.
There's the third downs on it. Greenwich 4 for 10. Darien 4 for 13. So the Cardinals have had more success than the Wave. Here we go. Third down. Hands it off to Konigsberg. And he will be stopped.
Huge.
Big stop for the Wave. Timeout taken by head coach Mike Forget. And the Wave will have 2 minutes left. And the punt coming, assuming the punt coming from the Cardinals.
I really like that play to take the timeout as well.
Just under 2 minutes remain.
Darien's going to come over, talk some things over. You like that call right there. Why?
On the defense, I mean, I don't know if I like that call as far as Greenwich is concerned, actually, because very risky on Darien because they sort of crashed in onto the offensive line, which means that they were sort of gambling on it being a dive or on some sort of interior run, right? It didn't look to me like they had a lot of players out on the edge, and so if Greenwich had gone for something on the edge, they very well could have beaten Darien. But Greenwich played right into what Darien was expecting. Darien crashed their defensive line and managed to close any sort of gap that could have opened.
Big stop there, 4th and 2. Greenwich will bring the punting unit out. Earhart will be the punter, so I guess Dixon's day after we change his graphic, Dixon goes off and stops punting for the Cardinals.
Yeah, I don't know.
You don't
they
think
seem to be switching around. Huh. I don't think they hate our graphics. I'll say that. They might.
Earhart and Herget will be back, so they're giving the Schwind Gerlamo reception a break. Minute 58 left. Earhart puts this one up. Herget's got the speed. Are they going to let him return it? Nope, it goes out at the 49. But this is go time for Darien. 49 yards. They need the touchdown and the 2 points.
Textbook 2-minute drill.
2-minute drill. But here's the issue. As we saw in Wilton with the Warriors, you run 2 or 3 plays and let Darien get a chance. So they got to be conservative with the clock in that matter.
Absolutely, but I think you can't. Seeing how Greenwich has been playing this last quarter and this last half, but especially this last quarter, I would rather score quickly and give yourself the breathing room on the off chance that say your 2-point conversion doesn't go through. And then also, I mean, it's too close to get the ball back, but still, you could stop Greenwich. So that's not a work.
49 passing attempts, 28 completions for Dahl. He throws this one, looking for Herget downfield. Trevor has it!
There you go.
Red zone for Darien. Herget. Oh, incomplete.
What? It looked to me like it was a catch.
What? Are we missing something? Are we... Oh, he dropped
it fell off. He did drop it.
Oh.
That's brutal. Came right out of his hands at the end. I mean, that's got to be a heartbreaker, you know?
Herget almost had the heroics, but the call by the referees will now give them 2nd and 10. The Greenwich side is getting hype. Johnson will go in motion.
I think we'll see a few more of those long balls before this game's over.
Well, especially the incompletion stops the clock, which works for the Wave.
Yep.
Dahl. Bullet pass. McMullen. That's a completion. And he's out.
Isaac McMullen on the far sideline with a great game.
McMullen's been, I mean, it's interesting because McMullen has been really, really nice on the sidelines. He's been able to keep his feet down right there. He gets he gets a really nice textbook toe tap, right? And McMullen has done a really good job of cutting, getting these short passes, and every player is every receiver has contributed. And the Darien wide receiver core, win or lose, you have to be patting yourself on the back because they've done well.
4 receptions for 24 for Isaac Dahl now on 3rd down. Fires this one downfield, looking for Herget again, and deflected away by a trio of Cardinal defenders. That was number 26, getting the final touch on it, Earhart.
Trevor Herget triple team.
And they're triple teaming Trevor Herget. They know he's a big receiver.
Honestly, I don't even know if that's enough. I mean, Herget got a hand on that there, and triple team is great. But remember the catch that Herget had at the end of the Wilton game, right? Like, he works very well in contested coverage, so that's not an issue for him. He has very good hands, and so triple teaming it is a good idea, but it also actually gives Dahl a chance to go to other receivers. And both Picorni and McGuckin are very good and are very fast, and they can run after catches. And so expect potentially a short ball to Picorni or McGuckin here, aiming for the sidelines.
They are indeed, and Darien will now trot back out on the 4th and 4. Time of possession, Darien has now found themselves on top of that, but the Cardinals have been more useful with that possession, so the quality versus quantity battle, if you will. Darien has the quality, but the Cardinals have the quality of them. That's why I couldn't get that out.
Yeah, you reverse those. But I think that's definitely fair to say.
Dahl rolling on the 4th down. He's being pressured. Thinks he has a receiver that's intercepted. Nsinga. And the Cardinals, putting this one to bed. John Nsinga with the interception. Darien, they were looking to that sideline and the intended receiver of Picorni, but Nsinga got right there for the interception. And Greenwich will now take back over, as that is the dagger for the Wave.
Yeah, I'm assuming they're going to go into victory formation here and close out this game.
What an afternoon of football. And the Cardinals will move in victory formation. 28-20, they lead. Wilson takes the snap and the knee. So I'll start right now. Michael, what are your final takes on this game?
My final take on this game is it was just about, total heartbreaker for Darien, of course. With the landscape of this game could have been different. With very close calls, very close instances. You have the near Picorni touchdown, and then you have the Schwind interception that got called back. So if you're Darien, you could be sitting there thinking that this game should have gone differently, and I think that's fair. And it just came down to finishing the game, and Darien couldn't. Darien struggled in the first half to finish their very long drives to get down the field and score. They only scored once, and they were in the red zone 3 or 4 times. And it's just one of those things where Darien could not finish. They couldn't push the extra yard. And Darien was fighting an uphill battle. If we're going to be completely honest, Greenwich is big. Darien potentially more. The talent argument could go either way, but as far as pure size goes, Darien was outsized here, and Darien played very well. The play calling was very good. They found their grooves, but in the end, they just fell short. They just couldn't get the extra mile. They couldn't get the extra inch. Whether or not it was on the defense to close that extra few inches of separation and to make an incompletion, or whether it was on the offense to bring a catch in. It was just a few little things that Darien couldn't do right, and that lost them the game.
You'll see the final stats on your screen right there. Darien dominating the time of possession and the offensive yards actually to Darien, but it really was just all Greenwich, the 16 first downs compared to the 4.
I don't believe 26 turnovers is correct.
No. We'll get that figured out at some point, but great job by our crew to bring that stats graphic, and overall an interesting day of football. as Greenwich escapes Darien 28-20. They will go to 6-1 on the season, and Darien will drop to 4-3. What does Darien need to do differently going into Norwalk next Friday to be exact?
I think Darien needs to just realize, needs to commit to doing what works. You know, I think Darien's passing game looked more electric than I've seen in any game so far this year, right? The short passes were incredibly well done. Dahl was playing his heart out. I mean, the passes were well placed, and so going into Norwalk, you have to see how you're playing. Darien can sometimes be, I don't want to use the word streaky, but you know, there are weeks where I think Darien's run game is better than their pass game, or the other way around. And so, if you're Darien, find what's working, get into your groove early against Norwalk, and then just keep abusing them and keep using your size, which they couldn't use here, against them.
Just had a loss of words for this game right here. Yeah. Darien losing their third game on the season, the first time since 2007 that they lose back-to-back home games, and they went 1-4 at home that season. They dropped to 4-3, and they do still have 3 games left on the schedule, but a heartbreaker that it's also the first time since 2007 that Greenwich takes down Darien
in the regular season.
So, no, I think in general, actually, is the last time they beat them. But overall, a devastating loss for Darien. They couldn't get back in it. They had the opportunities late, couldn't climb back, and as a result, the Cardinals win at 28-20. We're now going to send you down to Cam McGraw as he will give you his final thoughts on this one after a hard-fought game from the Cardinals.
Yeah, guys, the first time Darien has lost to Greenwich in the regular season since 2007, like I was saying earlier, despite Trevor Herget having an amazing game, 18 receptions for 111 yards and a touchdown. A great game for him. Good effort from the Darien Blue Wave, but they're defeated 28-20 here at Darien High School. Back to you.
Thank you, Connor. We're now going to take a look at Darien and what the rest of the season lies for the Wave this year. They have 3 games left to be played. They will host Norwalk back here under the lights against the Bears at a senior day for the Wave, and they go to Brian McMahon for their final road game, and then game number 10, Darien New Canaan at Darien High School this year, the Turkey Bowl, which should be very exciting, and that's the rest of Darien's upcoming schedule. So that's going to do it from us here at Darien High School. Your final score, Greenwich 28, Darien 20 on the DAF Media Network. Our production crew this afternoon doing a great job bringing you all the sights and sounds in this one. Connor Russo, Jason Bellingham, Dalton Moss, Liam Tomaszewski, Scott Kirby, Will Eriks, Keith Davey, Griffin Banks, and our DAF Media advisor, Damian Andrews. So for Cam McGraw on the sideline, Michael Mercine joined alongside me, saying so long from Darien High School. I've been Braden Shank. This has been a production of DAF Media Network, a joint venture of the Darien Athletic Foundation and the Darien Foundation. We'll see you next time.